Yeah,
yes.
I'm broadcasting now.
Yeah,
I'm broadcasting.
we got that. All right, so everybody's up. What's going on, PSVR community? It's AWOL Soldier here with a bunch of the guys you know and motherfucking love. So we're going to go around the table here and introduce everyone. So I am AWOL Soldier from PSVR all day, every day. It wasn't meant to be that way, but I was drunk and I made the name. Now we're stuck with it. To my left, we got the Preacher. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Preacher. That's me from the Preacher Plays. I have no idea what the fuck I'm saying. Please move on.
There's an empty seat right next to you. Should have been Seraphim. That's... Oh. Cool.
Oh. Nat?
Yeah, I'm Nat from 7 Degrees of Gaming. Thank you guys for inviting me.
You're welcome, and you look like a chick. Polish Paul, go ahead.
And I'm Dave from Davestation VR. And
With
thanks
those
for having me here,
dulcet
folks.
tones.
All right, and I am Lewis Knight from Lewis Knight PSVR, and I really hope everyone is sharing all their voices.
Oh, I hope so too, yeah.
That's a good point.
Is this going to be an hour of one person talking to themselves on somebody's stream?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, I think so, pretty much. Well, thank all you guys for showing up. What we all came to do this for was for the community as a whole, which we're all a part of. And thank you so much for Strange Games for showing up so they can tell us a bit more about what they're up to and whatnot. So we're going to talk right out the gate here. We got a ton of topics from the user communities, from everybody's channels. But we're going to start off with Strange Games because at the moment they're still coding D-Day for us as we speak. And we're going to talk Honor and Duty, which I personally love that game, man. It's they told us that 5v5 multiplayer in PSVR was not possible because the PSVR is a pussy and it can only be done on PC. And you guys said, F that. Here you go.
Nobody.
Hey, Reggie, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I just got a comment from one of my...
Yeah, they can't hear his chat.
They can't hear you, yeah. I don't think you're
Okay,
sharing your audio.
here's what we do, though. Okay, so you go into the party that we're in, all the party that we're in, go into that party screen, everybody, and just go into the party settings and make sure your voice is allowed to be shared.
Yeah, just go into your chat settings
All right,
there.
so...
In the party settings, Seven, I think it was the same thing with you during our Farpoint stream a while back. You went
Yeah,
sharing your
I
voice.
should all be...
No, Seven's good now. I streamed.
Seven's good. We streamed Arizona Sunshine. He is
Yeah, I've
good,
got prioritized party chat, so yeah, I'm in.
So all you gotta do
Okay,
is go
so
to
guys-
allow your voice to be shared always.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me go
everybody
down
in
to
everybody's
pro-
channel, if you're watching, just give us a heads up if somebody's not showing up.
Yeah,
on
if guys,
audio,
the same
'cause
thing.
I
If
don't
you
know
guys,
anybody
if you
else
can't,
is either.
Hold on,
if you're watching Night Bear, you said what's up. Let me know if you can hear everybody.
Let me go back to pro.
Okay.
This is the first time that we're JD as well. I think JD's here.
That's
We're
such
all-
a shame
this is the
because that
first
was
time
such
we're
a
doing
good
this,
speech.
guys. So
Just working out some kinks. No
yeah,
big deal.
the
At least
fluttering
we got
kitten
drinks.
is way in the chair. Yes, we got drinks.
I'm
All
just
right, can y'all
slugging
hear me
beer.
now?
Can you guys hear him now?
Awesome. All right. He's probably just still setting up his settings.
We'll have to wait
You know
probably
what?
one
If I,
sec for confirmation.
I'll just,
Yeah,
I'll,
I just changed it, so
I'll just pull up his.
Oh,
Oh yeah, well, we're gonna talk about all that, man.
yeah. We're
We
gonna
got-
let
we
the
got- we
comments
got all
coming
that
in
shit.
unless they're saying like, "Hey, I can't hear anybody." We're gonna be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's
Ignoring them. Yeah.
that's why we did announcement
Stick to the,
videos so everybody could tell us what they wanted to talk about to keep this short.
yeah. All right. Well, I changed the settings. Can everybody hear me?
I'm gonna
Thanks,
verify my own channel, man. Give me one sec.
Anybody out there watching? Let's see if we can hear Fluttering Kitten over here from Strange.
All right, go
Games.
go ahead, Flutter.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
I mean, we can hear you.
Awesome. Awesome. Everybody can hear. We're just waiting for
Hey,
fluttering
they
to
can
be
hear
done.
him.
Okay.
Thanks, Beatrice.
I can
Villa.
hear him.
Appreciate
Cool.
that. All right, back on
Thanks,
schedule.
guys.
So,
All right.
Technical
everyone
difficulties
intro him
sorted.
again, and we'll
Sorry, man.
get
All right,
this
so we're
going.
good now?
Sorry about that fluttering.
Yeah, I think we're all good.
No problem. I didn't realize it. But
All
yeah, I
good.
guess we're just saying we're really.
I didn't think about doing that because we all stream all the time, and I'll have that set that way. My bad. We should have told you that.
Okay,
Yeah, no
everything is perfect.
So back
Sorry.
to the first question. The initial question was honor and duty and how awesome it is, and how you don't understand how some of these AAA studios and everybody else said it couldn't be done. That was the question you were trying to ask.
5v5.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, there's really nothing that hard about it. I mean, you've got some things with VR. I mean, it's a lot more frame rate sensitive, but other than that, I mean, to me, multiplayer is a lot easier to do than single player. So I would have thought, online multiplayer would have been the easier part of it. But in any event, we were just really surprised to hear we were the first to do it. And with all the great feedback we got, we decided to look at doing a sequel, a lot sooner than we would have. And this great art asset became available in the Unity store. And it had the perfect look for World War II, and so it was just like everything just kind of fell into place. And so, things are going pretty well with that. We're working on some coding to replace a lot of the middleware we've been using, and that middleware is a very complex system, and so a lot of things were really hard to fix because, this whole big middleware system just. We try to fix one little thing and it touched 10 different systems. So anyway, we've just been kind of stripping that out. And, that coding will be the basis for D-Day, but at the same time, we're kind of, it's going to be, fixing the things in the current version of Honor and Duty. So hopefully within about 1 to 2 weeks, we'll have that ready to go back into the, the current version of Honor and Duty. So we'll be able to fix a lot of things like the player rotations, the frame rate issue and all that. So, even though we haven't been doing a lot of updates in the past week, there's a lot of work that's been going on. So.
Well, you guys are doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I love the game. Has everybody in here played the game?
Yep.
Well, it's
we
only
all have,
just
yeah.
released in Europe, so.
Yeah, I bought it for $1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was a little drunk and harsh when I reviewed it at first because I kept spawning in the same spot and everyone just had a better gun than me. And I was so fucking frustrated. But, I'm sure that's been patched or adjusted or something at this point, the spawn.
Oh, that's it. Is anybody said they can't hear Polish Paul?
I did. I think Polish Paul and maybe Preacher. I'm not sure, but
No,
Preacher
Preacher's good.
said much.
I'm just being quiet.
Preacher's
Yeah,
fine.
he's quiet. Yeah,
Preacher
should be good.
Preacher works just fine. Polish Paul, go into your settings and make sure your game chat's being shared, please.
That's funny. Yeah, we can hear you. Oh, we can hear you. I don't know. Let us know if you can hear Paul, guys, if you're still here around.
So I got a
Yeah,
question. I got a question for Reggie here, if
Yeah,
I
go
may.
ahead.
Please.
So you said 5v5 was easy. You're gonna up the player count for D-Day? Is it gonna be like 16 players or something?
Yeah, we're actually planning 16. Once we get that middleware out, once we get the middleware out and do our
Can't
own
hear Paul,
networking,
guys.
16 players should be fine. We're actually hoping to be able to do 32, but probably 16 would be realistic.
What?
Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah,
Jesus, man.
back
32?
when
Possibly?
Yeah,
Jesus.
well, when we were doing stuff for the 360 years ago, our game said 16 players, and that's when we wrote our own networking code. So I know 16 won't be a problem, but 32, might be pushing a little bit, and we may have to go from peer-to-peer to client-server. So if we have to do that, it'll take a little longer, but I don't think it'll be too big of a deal to get 32 players in there.
With vehicles as well.
So, yeah, with vehicles. So we'll
So
see.
Battlefield. You're the first Battlefield type game.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier. I'm like, we got Battlefield in VR. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I've
That's
been working on the
insane.
tanks a lot this week. So we've got tanks, so you can, you're actually inside the tanks, and it's like a physical tank. You're
Oh,
in there,
God,
and
that
you
looks
pop
so
out the
good.
hatch, and
Yeah, that sounds
so
fun.
it's not like you get in a tank and you're just seeing a third-person view of it.
And you guys are still doing the licensing so some noob can't come in and steal my badass tank?
Yeah, that's still the plan, is to have it to where when you spawn, when you bring in your tank, it's tied to you, and you can basically give your friends access to it to drive it. But somebody can't just run up and jump in your tank and run off and get it destroyed.
So, like, don't let Polish Paul have access to my tank. That's,
Yeah. So almost be like keys. You can
Speaking
get
of which,
keys
I
to your
got
tank.
people saying you can't hear Paul still in my chat.
Oh yeah, before when he did speak,
Well-
he said they couldn't hear him. When you go to, you have to. It's in the party settings, Paul. Yeah, I don't know. Not in audio settings in the broadcast and advanced broadcast play. It's in the actual party chat options. If you go into the party chat screen, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. The chat that we're in right now, the party chat. No, in the PlayStation. No, it's okay. On the PlayStation. The party chat.
This segment
Sorry,
of
guys.
the round table is just a tutorial for anybody who wants to join us in the future on this round table.
Yes, exactly.
This is what it takes. It's a lot of
Listen,
moving
this was
parts.
the first time it was going to go wrong.
Yes, it was
It's
going to
just
go
how much it was going to go wrong.
Nobody makes the first jump, guys. Look. Yeah, it's in the party. It's in the party menu. The party that we're in on the PlayStation. If you go to the dashboard and you go to the, and then there's
Just
party
dumped my
settings,
controller.
and then there's it'll say voice allow voice to be shared, and you just hit always.
All right.
He's close. He's right. He's close.
So I just got one question for Reggie. I think I'm the only person out of this round table that hasn't actually played Honor and Duty, and one of the reasons for that is literally you just launched the game in Europe this week.
Yeah.
Was there
yes.
any major issue with dealing with Sony Europe? Because here in Europe, we always get fucked. So it's actually my language, but we do. We get fucked.
You do. You guys do.
So I was just
Well,
wondering,
yeah.
is there any major issues you had with Europe specifically?
Not too big a deals. I mean, it seems like everything over there is different and more more trouble to deal with things like, your rating service over there, Peggy, is a real pain in the ass. But over here, the ESRB, I can go online and within 5 minutes I can get a self-rating for free. With those guys, I mean, you've got to sign up for them and you've got to go through their online tutorials, and then it's a pretty expensive rating to begin with, and you got to, I mean, it was quite a bit just to get just a simple rating for our first game. So that's just one step. And then, I don't get as quick a response from Sony Europe as I do from the States. So it's a lot of little small things, but nothing too bad. I mean, if you weren't making a lot of money, I was going to say, if you weren't making a lot of money on your games, I could see where a developer would say, hey, it's just not worth the effort. But so far, I mean, I haven't gotten sales numbers for our Europe release of Honor and Duty, but our little Match 3 game, Tina's Toy Factory, it did pretty good its first few weeks, so it was definitely worth putting it out there. So hoping Honor and Duty has the same reception.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've been hearing quite a bit from developers. I've just recently had an email yesterday, actually, from the guys behind Rooms, the puzzle game that's going to be coming. It's out in Japan, and they're saying Japan's a piece of piss to fucking develop in. They're really thing, but yeah, he was literally saying Peggy's an absolute pain in the arse, which is pretty much what I've heard from other developers, that out of all of the Sony areas, they're the worst by a country mile.
So, they don't even take electronic payments. I have to go down to the bank and generate a wire transfer. And then it takes them a week to even verify they got it. So it's
So do you think the sequel will be quicker now that you know the process, or do you think it's going to be the same trouble?
Going through you mean like getting the Peggy rating and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll go a lot quicker. We kind of know something, like we'll go ahead and submit our payment ahead of time and get a lot of stuff in place, and so yeah, those parts will definitely go quicker. The development will really be the the time-consuming thing. So we've been through the process twice already. It'll definitely go smoother. Okay. And we're definitely shooting for a simultaneous launch for the States and Europe.
Oh, like you guys did on the guys did on your PSVR update that was worldwide. That was awesome.
Yeah.
We were all on at the same time. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, they can't do it. How come every other game has to come out 7 days prior or before? Or, it's whatever.
Well, the only thing is is if you didn't pass QA for Europe or whatever, then you wouldn't be able to release on the same date. But I think they've now got a process where we can do worldwide QA for both territories at once, so that shouldn't hold things up.
Oh, that's cool.
But that would be Yeah, but that would be the only thing that might keep from releasing at the same time. Was if you had to go through because right now there's QA for different territories. So if you failed one, then you obviously couldn't release at the same time.
So if Honor of Duty's doing great, we know D-Day is going to be cool. I guess the question is, you guys already had Honor of Duty out. It was a flat screen game. You built it flat screen. What obstacles as a developer are there? Like, how hard was it for you guys to give us a VR experience from a flat screen game? Is it like as big of a pain? Is they describe it, or what's it?
Well, we use Unity, and Unity does all the heavy lifting for you. So really, it's not that much work to literally get VR. Take your game and suddenly it's VR. Now the hard part is getting all the VR, all the VR settings taken care of, because they were really hard on us. I mean, we had it finished basically like in August. I mean, it was playable, but it took from August to almost January to kind of get everything, their VR console to be happy with everything. We had to take out
I've been talking on other channels.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking I muted that. I do nothing.
No, Paul, if you put your hand over your face, we're on Party Chat. We can all hear you still. That's only in Rec Room. That's within Rec Room, so yeah.
Right, okay. I've been answering to comment. Don't ignore me.
No worries, man.
Hilarious.
So to answer your question, the actual technical aspects of making the game work in VR is not that hard, but just all the, really the frame rate was our biggest issue because we were not worried about frame rate. With flat screen, I mean, if it dipped in the 50s, it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, you've got to hit 60 almost constantly.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest things that makes people feel sick. I feel like is the frame rate drop.
Right. That happened in Arizona Sunshine, where I've gotten a little queasy from the frame rate dropping when the game first came out, and I was like, I can't play this for that long, guys. And that was the only game. Other than that, any game I can play, no problem.
Yeah.
So you guys, Strange Games, unlike normal studios, I'll put out a video bitching about something that needs fixed, and I've done it with your game. Next thing you know, it was me and myself, and Doom, Dr. Doom, doing a kill glitch with the with the medics. Next thing we know, there's some strange person in here, and I'm going, he's gonna screw it up for us. It wasn't anybody trying to screw it up. It was you in there trying to see what we were doing and what was going on. And you guys have been so just approachable and showing up in streams going, what are these guys doing? Why isn't it working? And that was from when we could put headsets through and shoot people through walls to kill glitches and everything.
Yeah.
How come you guys decide to be in the community's face instead of, and Doom says hi, by the way. How come you guys decide to be in there and more active rather than like a lot of studios that decide to sit back and just to go, we're going to pretend we're not seeing this, and we'll fix what we want because we know what you want.
I don't know. I mean, we're really concerned. We really are concerned about putting out a good game and trying to take care of the issues and all. I mean, we really want people to enjoy the game. So, a lot of times when I'm working, I mean, I've got screens open. If I see somebody make a comment on one of the videos, I'll pop in and reply or whatever. So. Right now we're small enough we can do that. If D-Day is really a big success, it might be hard to reply to every comment promptly. So,
of course.
But yes, right now, I mean, it's been it's been manageable enough. We've been able to be very active and all. So hopefully that'll continue. And I guess at some point,
we're happy to be game testers for you. we feel like unpaid game testers.
Experience in real life, so let me know.
Yeah, and actually, I could use some help here probably in the next few weeks once we get ready to replace this middleware. And if somebody could get on with a PC build and help me do some testing, I'd like to really test that before we roll it out to everyone. So that would definitely be a big help if some of you guys could help with that.
Are you guys thinking about
headset?
doing planes? Are you guys thinking about planes maybe?
Yeah,
airdrops. What about airdrops and stuff like parachutes?
Airdrops? Yeah, like you can
ultra wings.
I saw that there was more blood in the game. I really appreciate that. I like more blood.
Yeah.
But if we can get some limbs kind of coming off, and maybe a head popping while the blood squirts out of the neck hole just for a while, like in Kill Bill. I don't know, maybe something like that.
All right. Well, hey, that art asset we bought has got limbs and arms, so we can definitely throw some of those in.
Just pop them right off.
Yeah.
Take a look at Ultra Wings for airplane movement.
We'll try to get it in there.
Yeah, gore galore.
All right, guys. So what we're gonna do now, we can let any of you guys have questions specifically for Strange Games. And Strange Games, once they're done nailing you with their questions, anything else you want to say about your studio and your game and stuff, you go ahead and do it. Because I don't want to keep you because we know you're coding this actively right now. So we're gonna do. These guys can ask you questions, and you say what you got to say, and then we'll move on to. If you want to stick around after that, that's your call, man. We love you guys. We love your game, and I can't wait for what comes in the future from you guys.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Go ahead. So, Preacher, go ahead, and we're gonna go around the table, and then Strange Games, you can talk about your game as you see fit afterwards. Once you answer the questions from the guys. So, Preacher, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question which I think will segue nicely for a discussion later on. But when you were making your game and you had it all ready to go, and it was, it was ready to go out the door, and then you had to decide on a price for the content that you created, how did you go about that?
Let's see, you're talking about for Honor and Duty?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, that was back in 2016, and at the time, I felt like it was a fun game, but I didn't feel like it had the polish, and I think Sony had said, maybe a $10 to $15 game, and I just didn't feel like it had the polish for that level. So, we just kind of scaled it back a little bit. It was just kind of a gut feeling. We didn't, do any heavy market research. It was just kind of looking at what other games were out there, and just felt like that was probably a fair price. So,
do you still feel the same way?
I think at this point, especially with the VR update, I think it's probably a fair price for it. I mean, it's still, rough around the edges in some spots, but, I've been playing it for, almost 2 years now, and still as I'm developing and doing stuff, it still find myself, kind of playing it for fun at times,
So it's safe to say that this game is going to be constantly being updated and developed, even after Honor and Duty D-Day, or is it just going to be straight D-Day and no more Honor and Duty 1 after that?
We'll see how it goes. I mean, if there's still people out there playing it, we'll definitely try to keep adding maps and weapons and stuff.
Because it's kind of like Call of Duty. Everybody goes back and forth between different Call of Duties. That could be your Call of Duty. It could be different types of Honor and Duty. Besides D-Day, obviously, there'll be more Honor and Duties, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to keep, improving the levels and, going back and kind of, polishing stuff up. So as long as the game is, got some level of interest in it, we'll definitely keep trying to do some polish and, cleaning things up.
Polish. That's me.
These guys have said that before too. He said, as long as you guys are playing it, as long as you're having fun, we're going to keep paying attention to it. And Strange Games has already said that. We keep playing it, they'll pay attention to it. Hey, Dave, you swapped chairs. Do you want to get? Okay, Dave, you're up. Do you have any questions for?
I don't have anything prepared. I'm assuming the thing that I mentioned about the spawn points that was really frustrating, has that been updated since you guys first did the VR patch?
Yeah, it's already been updated.
Because I haven't hopped back in, honestly. So I do need to go back in and check it out.
Oh, they've updated all that, man.
Yeah. Also, one more for me.
Hey, guys, I was asking him.
I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No.
He's done. Okay.
Go on,
the scaling of the guns. Was that updated to the scaling of the guns? I think that some of the guns were looking a little too big. Is that being updated for D-Day or Honor and Duty 1 as well?
There was one or two guns I noticed that were definitely scaled wrong, and I did correct, I think, 2 guns, and I didn't see any other issues. So if there are any guns that still appear to be, out of whack or whatever, let me know. But I think the ones that were really noticeable have been fixed.
Awesome.
So I think the answer is yes. But if you notice one that is, definitely let me know.
All right, let's let Dave ask his question and let Strange Games answer the question.
Oh no, I asked it. I was just joking.
He did. He was fucking around.
All I was saying you guys answered it for him, and I was saying I was asking him. Not you guys.
Okay. Nat, do you have any questions?
No, I'm fine. I was just.
All right, Paul, you're up.
Right, okay, I just want to ask if you're going to be adding any new maps to Honor and Duty.
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, actually, I've already got one picked out that I'm planning to do. And I've got a few weapons picked out we're going to add. So the main thing is get this middleware in place, because that will allow us to fix the frame rate issue, which I think is the biggest problem right now. Once you hit the 7th player, it seems like the frame rate really drops heavily. So that's the focus right now. But yeah, we've already got a map picked out we want to add and some other weapons.
Right.
Awesome. Lewis,
Yeah,
do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it for me.
right.
All right. Do we want to hop onto the community questions? Or?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do in a moment.
All right,
As
so
soon as
AWOL has all
Strange
the-
Games. Hold up.
Definitely.
He said he wants to stay, man. All right,
Strange
let's
Games, you got anything else to add
keep
about
trying to
your
kick
game
him out here.
specifically? No, I'm not trying to kick him out. I want him to code the best game he can because his shit rocks. And I don't want to make him feel like he has
But
to hang out.
do you want him to be coding at like what time is it? It's like after working hours. It's a Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. He shouldn't be coding right now, man. He should
He's
chill.
a programmer. That's what they do. They do.
He
it
should be.
all
He
day.
should be.
All right.
Well, it's
Have
like I
an
was trying to tell
answer
somebody the other day. I really enjoy this. It's almost like a passion, So, it's like if you saw
Oh,
an
yes.
artist working, a painter, you wouldn't think he was, you'd think he was enjoying himself. And for me, that's why I work 7 days a week. It's I'm doing
Okay.
something I enjoy and it's fun. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we can see how much you support the game. It's great.
yeah.
The other developers can't take the same passion to their games. Just
Yeah, tell that to EA.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit.
You guys have any loot boxes planned for?
Yeah, that'll be the next step. Microtransactions. No,
Battle
we-
Royale mode? You guys are gonna have a Battle Royale mode?
You know,
where the
actually, I was
money's
playing a little Fortnite.
Wait, that's like a.
Oh, whoa,
Yeah.
hang on. Where's he
Fortnite,
going with
yeah,
this?
Fortnite. Fortnite's
Wait,
yeah,
not
yeah.
like Fortnite, but isn't that like a free for all, right? Like, don't they? They don't have free. Yeah, there's only team deathmatch in Honor and Duty. That's it, right?
Yeah, it's just team deathmatch right now.
Right. Yeah, free
But,
for all is like kind of pretty much like battle royale.
Well, hold on. What were you saying?
Yeah, definitely. We've got some more. Obviously, there's gonna be more game modes for D-Day.
Yes.
I've got one mode that I don't think anyone's ever done that we've got an idea to do, and then we'll do a lot of the standard ones like team deathmatch, free for all, capture the flag, those sort of things.
Are we gonna do a hardcore mode like one life and death, and then you have to sit and watch your friends play because you're an idiot
Elimination.
ran out,
That's
got killed?
elimination mode.
No, like hardcore search and destroy from Call of Duty was my all-time bread and butter, man. Like,
Right.
I
You would get
love
eliminated.
being
You have to
surgical.
wait.
Yeah.
You get eliminated.
Yeah, man. Are we gonna get something like that?
Yeah, we could definitely look at doing something like that if there's enough interest. If that's something people want to see, yeah, that wouldn't be too hard to put in there.
Guys,
Most-
people in my
most-
chat are saying you
most-
keep cutting him off.
Most people are not interested in that shit.
Let the man talk.
Yeah,
But
we
yeah,
do.
just let us know what sort of modes you want to see, and we can definitely work them in. Stuff like that is not hard to do. It's getting all the, all the mechanics in there. Player spawning, shooting, all that. Once you have that done, then team deathmatch, free for all. That stuff is not that hard to do. It's just a matter of how you're scoring the points, how you're setting the teams up. So, once we get the basics in there, team modes are not that much more extra work to do. So.
Yeah.
So you guys got this shit just like you did on Honor and Duty, and going forward, it's still gonna kick ass.
Hopefully, that's the goal.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, Honor and Duty too. From what I've seen and everything, all the videos, it looks awesome. I see every video they upload right away. Notifications.
Yeah, it looks
on.
great. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, every time you guys upload a video, I'm there like, wow, I can't wait. Like the tanks and everything blew me away. This blew me away.
So,
Oh
real
yeah,
quick,
I've been working on the
just to-
Periscope system. Yeah, go ahead.
Dave.
Just to throw
go
this
ahead.
out there. I don't really know much about, have you guys talked about a release date for D-Day, or do you have anything
Oh,
eyeballing
not a good question,
a
no.
quarter?
Yeah,
or
we're shooting for
anything?
July 24th, so that's
Oh,
really
wow,
Wow.
that's really close.
Jesus,
Do
man.
you hear that, guys? You
heard it here first.
I didn't. You heard it here first. Yeah. July 24th, Honor and Duty D-Day. Wow. Okay. And that's not too long.
Is
That's
VR
not too long
gonna
after
be
the
from
persistence.
launch, or
That'll be in a
later on?
Polish Paul video in about 2 minutes.
It will be.
Are you making it?
I got the greatest news in the village.
Yeah, PSVR owners must watch this video. Great PSVR news.
Make it more clickbaity.
And real quick, dude, that's going to have VR from launch too, right? Or is it
Oh,
gonna be out
yeah.
later?
Oh yeah. D-Day is going to be pretty much a made-for-VR title. You'll still
Oh,
have
awesome.
you'll be able to play it.
There we go. There
Right.
we go.
There is no 2D players. I think after that, right? So there's no more
there'll
cross
be-
reality.
Yeah, there'll be flat players, and
Oh, okay.
so we can segregate them if we, if it's a problem, if the flat.
No.
But the flat players, they're going to have the same movement speed as the VR players. So there
Yeah,
won't be
no,
any,
exactly.
flying
I
around.
just thought it was going to be like an all VR game. I didn't know it was going to be for like 2D and VR or just VR. Okay, so now we know. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, I
again,
think with
but,
2D. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Go
I
ahead,
think
Paul.
just with 2D, you've got more players to play online.
Yes, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So have you guys noticed one way or the other, like, what the player base is leaning, VR versus 2D? Because I feel like with a game like this, once it hits VR, the VR community just, jumps all over it. It's like, hey, we don't have anything like this. When you release a game that starts right off the bat with VR already built in, how are you guys going to push, like, the 2D kind of adoption? Do you have any ideas for that?
I'm really just kind of pushing the VR, part of it, really.
Yeah.
I think, I really think the VR stuff will probably drive the 2D stuff. If you got a lot of VR players out there, their friends see them playing it, they may pick it up. So, I think the VR probably will drive the 2D in this aspect, in this case.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, we'll continue to do our regular social marketing of it, try to get, awareness out there. But I'll tell you that's the biggest thing that we need is more social awareness. I mean, we're a, tiny studio. We don't have the marketing efforts of the big guys. And so just getting people aware of our game is our challenge. So, you guys do us a tremendous favor every time you mention us and, kind of keep the community aware of what's going on. So that's the biggest thing y'all can do to help out. It's just kind of spreading the word.
Sweet, we will.
If it's a good game,
That's
we will talk
why
about
we
it.
do it, man. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely. Awesome.
All right. Well, any other questions? I mean, I feel like I've kind of taken up all the time.
No,
Yeah. We wanted to know everything. Yeah, release date July 24th, next one.
Yep.
So everybody said you guys have asked all your questions. Strange answer.
Yeah.
That
That was the greatest interview I've ever been a part of, to be honest.
that was cool, man.
Same here. That was my first ever interview.
Yeah, me too.
You
Me
have a
too.
question?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you
No,
like
no,
taking
I'm
time
fine.
off from
I'm
CNN
fine.
or something? Lewis?
No, that was very good,
All right,
Reggie. Very, very good.
Busted my interview cherry.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move on to community questions, and these questions come from our own channels, which is actually the entire
so excited
community.
about this part.
And what we're gonna get into here, and from this point forward, is going to be, of course, how we feel about VR games in general and peripherals, hardware, software, everything. So that's what we're gonna get into right now. So I'll shout out every guy that did these questions. So I'll say who had the question, and we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna go left to right, and the next time we're gonna go right to left. So Preach, you'll go first the first time, and Lewis, the next answer the next question, you're gonna go to you first. All right.
Alrighty then.
All right. So this one comes from J
Sounds
Biggs
good.
Gaming. Should Sony release an updated PSVR this gen or next, or just release better moves and tracking? Also, on top of that, in conjunction with that, was Roy Schwartz says universal movement for the moves. Should we have universal movement, meaning it's always forward, back, left, and right, and across the board when we get a game, and then when you do other things, those are the buttons that are left over.
Okay. I will try and remember all that. Okay, a next-gen headset, or a headset next. No, not to the next generation. I don't see the point right now. The PlayStation Pro does a good job, but it's not powerful enough to warrant an upgraded headset with any kind of 4K, 8K, 12K, whatever the hell you want to put in there. No, I definitely don't think so. As for upgrading the Move controllers, I think it's going to be a difficult job for them to do, given the type of tracking that they use. So it would have to be a package deal. It would have to be like a new set of tracking with a new set of Move controllers, because the light-based tracking with the big balls on the top, I don't see how that would work. The best they could do would be
big balls.
Big balls, yeah. Paul's balls.
That's what Paul's here for. That's what Paul's here for, baby.
Paul's balls spoiling the peace. So the best they could do would be to slap thumbsticks on, but it feels a little bit like it's getting late in the game for that, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, so
Nobody wants to rebuy peripherals at this point that they
No,
already basically have.
and then you've got poo guys like Reggie here, who's doing 7 days a week, and then he'd have like another set of controls that he'd have to.
Yeah, they release
for-
a new controller. That's what you got on your feet. You operating with your feet. Did you saw that?
I did, yes.
But that's like third-party controller. But I don't think how that would work on PSVR, like when you stand up and shit.
I'd like it to stand up, because you need to sit down with that shit.
Yeah, you need to sit down and then you operate in with your feet. But then, how many games will support it?
Can we just agree that more games need Verzoom support? Because my Verzoom
with the bicycle
is sitting here unused.
Hey, you can buy Verzoom for 70 quid now.
Yeah, I'm just fucking around. I don't actually have one. Nobody here.
Oh, that you can buy attachments to your.
I've never seen anyone who has one.
As far as
guys,
the
wait, real quick, sidebar. Do you think if we all bugged Verzoom, they'd send us some free bikes? Because nobody's covered that. No, literally nobody's covered that.
I'll take it.
And we
I would
have
take
a thing
it.
where we all talk about their little bike.
I've sent them email and I asked them, can they send me one over?
Really?
But they never
Frank.
replied.
They said not to fucking Poland. We'll send it to them.
Yeah, that would be. I would totally take that for free.
As far as
So back on talk. Preacher, you done?
just the last part of that question, which was to do with universal controls. If I've understood the question correctly, I imagine it's like, raw data, Skyrim, etc., using the same types of buttons to do the same types of movements.
Exactly.
Yes, we're a year and a half in. We've had multiple really, really good examples of how to do it. Why the fuck, excuse the language, why have they not decided to just copy the guys that have got it right?
That's annoys me.
Well, games are
You
in
play new
development,
game.
Oh, go ahead.
You
Sorry.
play new games, and half of them got different controls, and it's annoying as fuck because you don't know what you're doing at the beginning. You have to get used to controls first, and then play the game.
Yeah, as a consumer, that really sucks. That really sucks. But as far as developers go, it's still so early. Like, they don't know what the market's like. They don't know what the environment's like until, when a game comes out that has good controls that everyone likes, these people making the other games with shitty controls we don't like are already, 75% done with their fucking game at that point. You know what I mean? So it's like once certain games set the standard, I think we'll see more of it naturally happening because people want to recreate that.
Well,
but if
they have
you're
set the
working in a
standard at this
vacuum,
point.
like different lanes, you don't know what, you think you've got the best idea for what works, but then you see everybody else being like, holy shit, that one's way better, and then you realize next game, let's develop it that way. And it all kind of moves forward.
For me, there's enough games out there that use X and O or X and circle.
But this is
turn
for the
left and
future,
turn
though.
right.
Right,
So-
but for the future, they should use universal. You know what I mean?
You know what?
Well,
though?
what do we
How
think
about
is
this?
the game that sets the standard for universal? What would be the game?
Oh, you're
that we'd
gonna have to take something like
Skyrim, I think.
Skyrim, you think Skyrim? Yeah, Skyrim's good.
Doom VFR did. Oh wait, both Bethesda games. No shit.
No,
Fucking
Skyrim.
Bethesda.
Skyrim Raw Data did it. Raw Data has smooth turning and walking just like Skyrim. Same controls as well.
Yeah,
No
I
but
like the one in
yeah.
Apex Construct, smooth walking.
They just added it,
Apex Construct.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Apex Construct.
And the Solus Project. And the Solus
yeah.
Project.
There was a person's question from the community, not to jump ahead about Solus
No,
Project.
well, it's
Mine
on the
too.
list.
I got that too. It's on the list. I got that.
It's on the
Okay.
list. It's on the list.
Yeah, I
It's
got
all
that
on the
question
list.
too.
So anyway, Nat, what do you have to add to
Yep.
this? Since you were technically next after
Well,
Preacher.
the problem that you got with the Move controllers is they brought out new Move controllers, what was it, almost a year ago. And they did nothing. It was literally the same Move controllers as it was before. They just improved the battery life and gave new connections. If they were going to put analog sticks on them, that was the time to do it. Because they'd already had, 6 months, 8 months of people saying, we need analog sticks on the controls, we need analog sticks, we need analog sticks. They've left it. It ain't happening. No matter how much we bitch, moan and want them, they're not going to come. They're going to come next year.
Absolutely.
But we
It's
signed
as
the
simple as
petition.
that. I signed the petition, why wouldn't I? There's no reason not to sign the petition.
For that.
But
I signed the petition as well, man. And I'll tell you
I
what.
stand
when
by
I-
sign and shared it. Why they don't listen to us? Bastards.
They don't listen to us because our install base is too low. There's not enough market saturation to justify
PSVR has the
Sony.
biggest install base of any of the headsets, though.
Yeah, but when you compare
Easily,
Sony
right?
PSVR install base against PlayStation 4 install base, they don't give a shit.
Of course, it's still a gizmo.
That's-
it's still a gadget. You got to pay a bunch of money
Exactly.
for.
Yeah,
it, but
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I don't
Yeah.
see us getting any type of move updates, even to PS5. I'd bet my nuts that what they're going to do is have PSVR work on PS5, and maybe a year in we'll get some moves, and maybe a new version maybe 2 or 3 years in with better tracking.
Hey, well, if that doesn't come true, I'm coming like Rumpelstiltskin for your nuts, man. I'm gonna
No, seriously.
I help you.
Let's do that high five again, baby.
We all go for A1 balls.
Hey, I got a 17-year-old and I got a one on the way, man. You can shop them off. I don't want them anymore.
There's no way they are launching PSVR 2 at the same time as PS5.
Exactly.
I don't think so. Like, yeah.
The financial side of it would be crippling for most people. You're looking, I agree with AWOL, you're most probably looking at a year to a year and a half. However, if Sony do not make the current PlayStation VR compatible with PlayStation 5, they're fucking morons. That's the simplest thing.
What's happens to my channel?
Yeah, the headset's not a problem.
Yeah, the operating system and the programming code that they're going to be using for PS5.
Oh, yeah.
Because why would they change it? Literally, the coding they're using is the same as PCs. And it's worked for them. It's worked for them spectacularly. So why would they need to change it? Again, the only thing I can see them doing with a PS5, which again I would think would be stupid, is removing a disk drive out of it. But I can see PS5 being compatible with PS4 with the titles, so we won't lose our games next generation.
The thing is, as well,
PS3 I understood.
Most of them are digital anyway.
The thing is, like Dave was saying, I think there's nothing too wrong with the headset. Like, if you actually had something that was like with the room we're in right now, if you had something more powerful powering this, it would still look pretty damn good through this headset. Resolution might be slightly low, but it would still look good. So yeah, PS5 this headset, that'd be fine, especially for the first year or two.
But everything can always be upgraded and stuff like that. So I might say, if it's 18 months down the line, yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I'm happy.
They just need to make sure this is running. I
still don't even have a Pro, PS5. So like I'm not jumping on any kind of PS5
I think it's what people want the most is bigger games for PSVR. Even now, I think people don't care that much about PSVR 2, but to get some bigger games.
Well, the problem at the moment is everybody's focusing on graphics. And to be honest, I think we've got a head up on PSVR because, all right, yeah, we do care about graphics to a certain extent, but the most important thing to us is gameplay. If you, like the guys from Honor and Duty, he turned around and said, look, our game don't look the best or anything. But what's important about that game, and you guys will attest to that more than I can, is the gameplay's cool. You enjoy the gameplay, you enjoy the game, and that's why you go back to the game. It's not because it's got a certain visual style. Yes, it does, but you're just like, well, look, I don't really care about that because guess what? When I play the game, I have fun. What I'm hoping next generation is we get away from this frigging crazy obsession with crazy graphics. Don't get me wrong, I love my God of Wars and I love my Horizon Zero Dawns and stuff like that and looking all pretty and shiny and stuff. But what I want is emergent worlds. I want bigger worlds that are alive. And you can do that with the stuff. Yeah, Skyrim VR, but imagine when you go into Skyrim VR,
created from the
rather than the NPCs that you have, which have a set not move set, but talk set. What about if they literally didn't have 4 lines, which is what they've got now? What happens if they got 5,000 lines? That's what I want. I want to go into there and literally sort of like say, you look like a duck, and literally the NPC responding to that, going, you bastard, or something like that. You don't have that option. That's, I think, the next generation. Make the worlds bigger, more alive.
Yes.
The graphics are nice, but...
It's definitely far out, but...
No, I mean, if you look at where they got with the Impatient very quickly, alright, the Impatient ain't a great game.
Yeah, Impatient is...
But, it's like you just...
about the fucking Impatient.
But
are we going to get on that too?
You've got a very small...
Is that one of the subjects?
Talking. So, yeah.
Can you talk about Impatient?
Hey, hold up.
List, Paul.
Actually, we're just moving to that right now, and we're not going to talk Impatient, we're going to talk Supermassive.
Supermassive disappointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk Supermassive.
It's a Supermassive disappointment.
We're going to move on to Supermassive. So it's a company. It's a company that gave us 2 hype games already. That I covered very badly, like going they're a pile of crap. And Nat had a video on his channel talking about a leak, saying, well, we were actually working on 3 games. Now,
Oh, that news article you're talking about.
Yes, from Eurogamer, guys.
So
if you don't know
check us
about
out.
this.
That was huge.
We're gonna
Check that out.
we're gonna
It's a
talk
big article,
about
big
it.
article.
We're
I
gonna
read the
talk
whole
about
thing.
Impatient and Bravo team, but here's the thing: at the end of this, how long is it before the community respects Supermassive again to buy another game? Even that includes us,
Holy
the
shit.
guys that buy them on launch day. So after the Impatient and Bravo team debacle, if there's a third pile of shit, how long do they have to hold that and hide it? And go, oh, by the way, we're back as a AAA game studio supposed to be making good VR games before we
I won't
trust them to buy
trust
it again.
any games.
No, wait. They have to. They know what they
happen to
Is it my
become a
turn?
AAA studio.
Hold up. Yeah. It is Lewis's. Lewis goes first this time, and this time, guys, you'll get your turn. Just to go around.
All right, well, it's okay if it gets a little nuts, but listen, check this out.
Please.
No, but with the I'm sorry, what was the question again? Shit.
Really
No,
massive.
with Supermassive, okay, but look, we're trusting them. We're trusting them. What they're going to have to do is open up to us completely. They're not going to have to show us one little fucking trailer that's going to look like a little bit amazing, and then like, oh, we may want to buy that game. It looks kind of cool. But no, they're going to have to be behind. We're going to have to be right behind the fucking scenes with them the whole fucking time. They're going to show us the game, show what it's like, making sure that everything is going smoothly because we're not going to buy it otherwise. Honestly, I can't trust them. So what they just did with the Impatient was Rush of Blood was amazing. Can we go back to Rush of Blood? Because what the fuck, with Rush of Blood was so good. I know maybe that was the first game they focused on, right? So they were just focusing on that one at the time. But now they're focusing on 3. So and the one we don't even fucking know about. We don't even know about the third one. We know about the first 2, the Bravo team and the Impatient, but what's the fucking third one?
Well,
nobody knows, and does anybody give a shit either?
Too. They do flat games too, so they're spending time on that as
They
well.
do.
Yeah,
They do.
7
They
games
might be
at
working
once.
another like Until Dawn or something, but still. But
So
like,
Lewis,
what-
Lewis, how about this? Do you feel? I forgot to add this in. Is this a time for a game like Supermassive to be required by consumer law to give us a demo of this third
Oh hell
mystery
yes,
game?
sir. Oh hell
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Oh
There we
hell
go.
yes.
All right.
We need a demo. Because look, you played game like everybody here played the Persistence demo, right?
Oh hell yeah!
Everybody
for
the Persistence
this.
demo. And as soon as you
That's a
turned
really
that
good
shit on, it was like fucking sold, right? Like we knew it. So that's what we need. Like demos is
And
very
Moss,
important.
and Moss,
but
Moss too.
but
Star Child.
Supermassive. Yes, Star Child, Moss was great.
Ooh,
They're all
Star
like,
Child, can't wait.
But we need. Nat has mentioned this many times. Nat has mentioned this
Just
many.
high-fiving each other.
Nat has mentioned this many times where we need more demos. We need just more fucking demos. That's it. There's no excuses like at this point.
I
Like,
think
Can
they're
we
not
just
showing those
can we
games.
get Strange Games to chime in on this? Because I think a lot of people who develop these games are like smaller developers, and a demo
That
is
is
like
true.
a whole separate thing you have to do.
He's back. All right,
Let's
all
get
right,
back.
all right.
Yeah. So if people asked you for a demo, how much extra work is that to create a full-fledged demo that runs? And I mean, that's a whole separate work stream, right? It's a kind of a
Yeah, it is actually. Now, when we're doing games for the 360, pretty much every game had to have a demo, and so
where
you
the
just
hell's
kinda
he been the
built
whole
that
time?
in. What now?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
So
I don't know how this
we
happens.
were already used to doing that back in the 360. So
Get back in your chair and let him answer the question.
I'm trying.
it's not that big a deal to do it. But on the consoles now with Sony, it has to be a separate game, so you've got to go through the whole
Yeah.
process. So it's
Jesus.
more work, but it's not that big a deal.
Okay, so if it's not that big a deal, then
But
we
we
need
still
more
have to go
demos.
through PEGI rating twice and all that shit.
That's an interesting question. I'm not sure if you have to do that or not for a demo version, but it's definitely if they could let us put one game out there and then just kind of the way the 360 did it was you had a variable you could check and it told you if the game was running in demo mode or not. And so if it was running in demo mode, you would limit the levels or whatever. And that wasn't hard. You had one game, one set of coding, and you just did things depending on whether it was a demo or
And the way they presented it on their store for you to download was just based on that. You didn't have to do anything,
we didn't have to do
compartmentalizing
anything
a separate demo and
Right. And if they did that, it would be a lot easier, and you might see more demo versions out there. But so right now, we do have to make a separate version. That's why we haven't updated the demo version of Honor and Duty with VR support. It's just you got to go back in and almost redo a lot of the stuff we've already done back into this other separate version of the games.
Yeah, I don't know. My favorite demo has been the Resident Evil 7 demo. That was my favorite demo of all time. Just want
That's
to
when it's
throw
come
that
out.
out
It's
there.
been like a best game on PSVR.
Yeah,
Resi
that was like the
demo,
best
yeah,
demo
yeah.
I've ever played as a VR demo. It was like, holy hell.
Well, it wasn't just the demo. I mean, because obviously you did have the demo come out, but even before that, you had Kitchen. Now,
Yeah, but Kitchen I
gave
didn't
us-
get.
Right,
I didn't
yeah.
even know about Kitchen until like Kitchen, like it since like as a new PSVR owner, I got my shit and I turned on all the demos and everything, and it says Kitchen. Well, I think I'm gonna go make a sandwich or something. I didn't know what the fuck it was, so I was like, I don't want to play that. Dude, I don't want to play that shit. So I downloaded the actual Resident Evil 7 Midnight Hour demo, which also helped me get over my VR sickness. By the way, was walking around in that game for hours upon hours.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was, as far as demos go, there was so much content in that one, and you could like replay
It's
it. I felt
right.
like there was,
Yeah.
yeah.
I played it like 12 times, dude. Yeah.
But that was like the original system seller. I mean,
Yes,
that was
it
like
was.
the,
It was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, besides
Oh,
like
yeah.
Eve Valkyrie and shit. Eve Valkyrie was
Right.
Oh, right.
No, it was. It was. I
Some
was
people still
so
don't know
hyped
that
for
you
it.
can play Resi demo in VR.
Yeah, I know. I
But
took the
in
day off
now,
of
you can
work.
play it in VR. Yeah.
Yeah, I took the day off of work to play that game.
You took the day off work.
Well, is that the same
did.
question? Got to go to Paul?
I did. Fuck that shit, dude. I was hyped about PSVR because that was still new to me at the time. I just got that shit for Christmas, and Resident Evil 7 was on my super hype list, man. It was just like, forget work. Who gives a shit?
What was the question we were talking about?
I don't
that's
fucking know.
Supermassive games.
Oh,
That's what it was.
Supermassive.
It's,
Supermassive
we're
games.
talking
Can
about
I-
Supermassive.
can I take
You know
my
what,
turn?
Dave, it's your turn, please. Yes, please, Dave.
Well, can I just
So I
quickly
read that-
run back to that Supermassive bit quickly?
Oh, I
Where
think
you were
that's what
saying, what would we need to trust them? First of all, we need a good game. If they come out with another mediocre game, that's it. They're done on VR. It's impossible. If they come out with a game of the level, and it has to be honest, it has to be better than Rush of Blood that Lewis was talking about. Great. First,
I
that's
don't
the
think it
first set
has
of
to
trust.
be
We'll play the
better
game.
than Rush.
Oh, it's got to be better
I mean,
than Rush of Blood. That's what I'm saying.
Why?
Because Rush of Blood was
is
the initial
great.
one.
That's.
But it still
I
has
don't
to
know.
be better than that.
I think it has to be just better than
a
what's the
developer
shitty
is
ones.
meant to get better with games. Look at somebody like Naughty Dog, right? It's not VR related, but you look at Naughty Dog. Uncharted, pretty good game. Uncharted 2 went to a completely different level. Uncharted 3 went to a different level again. Then they Jesus Christ, they brought out Last of Us, which went on to a completely different level again. You
But have
need
you
to
played
keep
Crash
moving up.
Bandicoot?
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot's
Sorry,
great.
I'm just fucking around. Go ahead.
They were toting from the side of Supermassive way before we got any gameplay, anything was going on. They were going, these guys have already made a VR game. That's what started the hype. And I had a kid on my channel, my fucking first impression, saying I spent my Christmas money on this pile of crap, and he was bummed. Somebody who doesn't have a lot of money to spend, and because of the hype,
yeah.
and because it's expected that these companies step the bar up, just like he said, they failed miserably. They did it with Impatient and Bravo team, and I'm not on my channel going to sit and give them any slack, period, for the rest of time until they step it up again. But yes.
All right, so
Ru-
can we go back to the circular
Yes.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Yeah, it is Dave's turn. I passed it off to
Yeah.
Dave. I don't know what happened there.
So we all read the Eurogamer thing, right? The
Yes, I read the whole
Supermassive.
fucking article, Dave.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
I
I feel
did
like
too.
that is that explains everything. There's really nothing else other than so they lucked into being a AAA game studio. They got lucky with a formula. People were saying that Until Dawn, the base 2D game, which now everybody loves and has been on free on PS Plus, and
Free
everybody
PS.
knows that game. Yeah, that was just like everyone thought it wasn't looking too hot, and then all of a sudden they were just like, oh well, actually this turned out pretty good. And then based on that, they had such kind of a wave of hype behind them that they got too big for their fucking britches, and they were like, we can make all these kinds of games. We can
Yeah,
make a
they
game
want
that's
they got on
totally
a high
different than
horse. They got on a
Until
high
Dawn.
horse for a little bit. You mean?
We can make
Yeah.
a military-style first-person shooter because we made a story-based horror game. Like,
Yeah.
what? I don't know. Like, it's just
That
a
makes
reach.
no sense. Completely
Yeah,
opposite. Like that's
exactly. And so
crazy. Yeah.
If they could scale their focus back and like, so Telltale games, even though they've fallen off for sure, they got huge on knowing what kind of game they made well and making the shit out of that game as many ways as they could. And so if Supermassive could figure out something like that with the Until Dawn formula that worked in VR, Inpatient obviously wasn't that. But you know, they
Inpatient
if they
was
find a
fucking
lane,
boring. I never
I think they
finished
could
it.
probably I think they could do something good if they picked a lane. but they're trying to do all kinds of different
True.
stuff that they can't.
True.
And they've also got their 2D games in development too, like Hidden Agenda, which, if you guys know, that didn't really go over very well.
No,
You
I
play
just
on your
finished that last
phone,
night.
It's like supposed to be. Did you like it? Was it fun?
It was interesting at first, and then it ended extremely quickly. It was
It's
about
like
a 2 hour
2 hours
game
or something.
Yeah, about 2 hours.
2 hour game.
Yeah. I would like to.
All right, so that's my piece.
Sorry,
I've said
go
my
on.
piece, but yeah, if you want to, go ahead.
It was just in reaction to what you were saying with regard. This isn't my circular thing, but it was just in reaction to what you were saying. Was I wonder how much pressure actually came from Sony, because they've actually pushed Bravo Team and Impatient so much in every advert that
that's
they've had.
part of their that's part of their
You know?
base marketing is Bravo Team, and yeah, no, you're absolutely.
I can't watch a single
the
Polish
problem.
Paul video without Bravo Team popping up.
Yeah.
And
true.
Bravo Team. Fucking Bravo Team was shit. I fucking didn't like this game.
It's
And it
worse than a
started
piss
off.
stain.
It is your turn. It is your turn, Paul.
It's your
yes.
turn, Paul. Your turn.
Right. It started off from everything being massive, and even if you hide somewhere behind like cover, you still get shot. And then you try to duck in real life because you think it's VR, but you duck inside your avatar, so you duck inside geometry.
Wait, what?
Everything.
That happens in Bravo Team? I never
Yeah,
even
yeah,
played
yeah.
the fucking thing.
Yeah,
Holy
it's
shit.
Get the
fucking
fuck
shit.
out, really?
Yeah, so everything about this game was just designed bad. And I remember before it came out, I've done like a video like, oh, you know, it might be good, you know, because some people have been shitting on it before it came out. But it's turned out to be shit, another pile of shit.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I think they just need to like focus now, maybe on one game instead of 7.
Yeah,
And
no shit.
even that, I don't buy their game anyway because I don't trust them anymore. What they're gonna release.
So, Nat, you got anything to add to that, brother?
Pardon me.
No, I mean obviously I kind of skipped Bravo Team more by
Yeah.
default because of the Impatient and the debacle that happened there.
Well, but
I mean,
anybody
so-
else here just from the trailers? Nat, could you tell from the trailers that it wasn't going to be good? Because I feel like it's fairly obvious
Yes.
from the trailers.
Yes.
that-
No, the trailers didn't look
you
great
look at the
at
trailer.
all.
I think when you look at the trailer initially, you just see the action. You're like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. And it's only now, obviously, after watching a lot of you guys' videos, when you go back and look at the trailer, especially when I've been doing some of the videos I've been doing recently, because obviously I haven't put myself front and centre. No, I put the actual video front and centre now. So when I did the Bravo Team one, and you were watching it again, it's like, okay. Third person, you go from first person to third person. You don't really notice that initially. I think when you saw it in the trailer initially, you kind of figured, oh well, it's my AI partner I'm looking at there, not you. Because why would you ever go from first person to third person to run somewhere? That makes zero sense. I mean, fair enough they want to go point to point, but stay in first person.
3 to 4 camera cuts here, well.
All right, we're gonna kick the next question, and right after I say this, I will watch my own gameplay on Bravo Team, and it almost fools me into playing the game. And that game looks so good in trailers, man. Dude, I can watch my own gameplay and go, maybe I should go back and play that shit. It
I don't
looks
know.
good.
When I saw it, I thought it looked bland and just like you're doing the same
Yeah,
thing
because I didn't
over
see
and
anything
over and over
special. It looked
again,
over and
like-
over the trailers. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
it's,
absolutely
like,
right.
it's really it's all gray and fucking like I don't know, man.
Nothing. There's nothing to the buildings. There's nothing to anything in that game.
It's not
nothing
about that.
yeah, it's very empty game.
It's
a very empty game.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
No
it is.
atmosphere.
But I was looking at it more from a
Polish
go
VR.
and take your point and then shoot people. I'm like, how do you fuck that up? And they totally did. They totally did. They
Well,
fucked
but also
that up.
that's not even a new like we have a million games like that. We don't need that fucking game. Like we have so many wave shooters, dude.
Oh,
No,
exactly.
no. There's so many
And
better,
that- and
much
that-
better ones though.
And that's all that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
especially
I
for
played
the
VR
price.
Invaders all
Preacher,
day
preacher.
over that fucking game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I like
Alright.
VR Invaders, yeah.
Me too. That was a
okay.
good game.
Okay. So we all agree that Bravo Team fucking sucks.
Of course.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
even play
fucking
it.
shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for me, sorry, dude.
And the impatient. What about the impatient then?
Well, for
Oh,
me,
it's
I'm
fucking
sorry. I'm
sucks, too.
sorry. I'm sorry. Preach. Go ahead.
no, I was just, I was super looking forward to the Impatient and Bravo Team. I was similar to Dave. I watched the trailer. I was like, nah, it looks okay. But
Impatient still looked good off of the
it's
trailer. I
the
thought.
graphics of
It
the
did.
Impatient look great, but
It did.
And
the
they pulled
impatient
off until dawn. I mean, like
yeah,
anyway,
that's
sorry,
why.
go ahead.
That's okay. I mean, that's
But
why
Until Dawn
I
was
was
like
looking
fucking
forward to it.
Hollywood production, though. Like it's like it's not like you saw celebrity in The Inpatient. No, there was like 5 celebrities
That's true.
in
That fucking Rami Malek
Until
guy
Dawn.
and everybody. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
Hayden
you're right.
Panettiere, the guy from Agents of
Yeah,
Shield.
Hayden
I'm like, what the
Panettiere, yeah,
fuck?
you're right.
Oh, shit. I dropped my drink.
That
I
kid-
forgot about that actually.
Yeah, they paid a lot of money for those motherfuckers. Fuck that.
But the
I'm
biggest
sorry. Is there too
Alright,
much
so-
cursing?
No. Dude, why'd you look at me when you said that? You see my channel. Okay,
He's
so
the moderator. You're the moderator, AWOL. What the fuck?
I
That's
am.
what we looked to see.
hey,
No, I meant to hit AWOL. Sorry, preach.
I give no.
It's okay.
I give no fucks about your swing. So how about this? Let's get on to something that before this past week, a week ago, we had a game come out called what was it called? Arc Park, I think. And,
Anybody in here heard of Arc Park?
I don't remember arcing of the arc. What happened? That's hilarious.
I streamed it for like 4 hours just to prove a point how shitty it is.
You did. I was there the whole time, dude, and I'm so my eyes were sore.
I don't know why.
So, hey, listen, I love Arc Park because it's given me loads of source material for my videos.
all right, so
game
check
is
us
shit.
out.
Okay, AWOL. Sorry.
We can break the Arc Park debacle, which is very interesting out of all the games we talked about, because I didn't buy it, Preach didn't buy it, Lewis didn't buy it,
Dave bought it.
Dave bought it, Polish Paul bought it.
But hold on. I didn't spend
didn't
real
buy
money on it. I used store credit because I traded in at a GameStop some old games I didn't need.
Well, you still
That's still a
fucking.
waste of money. That's a waste
And
of
then
money.
I got a 20% off card. It was like, it wasn't that bad.
Okay, so here's what's interesting about this game. You have crappy games come out that we all buy and we all review or talk about in our own way. This is a strange one because we didn't have an embargo on it. Like we didn't sit in our not an embargo. We didn't blacklist it, but a lot of us didn't buy it. We didn't review it. And the reason I didn't was because I watched Polish Paul play the game for 3 hours, and I'm sitting there.
Almost 4.
I think it was 4 hours.
Almost
Dude,
4, dude. 3 hours and 42 minutes.
Dude,
If I'm
That
correct.
was painful, yeah.
I was so suffering. I was so suffering.
I
and
was
you-
hardcore suffering, yeah.
He saved me money. So from you guys that played it,
Thank you.
from you guys that played it, Polish Paul, Davestation actually played it.
Yeah. Brian Paul played a little bit.
Well,
I watched it first.
he's not in here though. He's not in here though. So you guys,
Oh, you're true that,
I
true
could
that, true
text
that.
him and ask him what he thinks.
fill us in on our part. I told my people not to buy it because I wasn't, and I wouldn't expect anybody that watches my channel to buy it if I'm not.
I
Because
did-
even I
yes,
pass
yes.
it up.
I mean,
So
yes.
Polish Paul, Davestation, you guys fucking, you guys have the floor and tell us about Arc Park and how wonderful it is. Let's write some dinos.
Please.
Right, well, it
All
starts
eyes on
off.
you
it's-
guys.
It looks, I think this game looks better on flat screen than when you're in VR because everything seems a bit blurry, even on my PS4 Pro. And all the mechanics are just fucking shit. It's just like broken game. Like when you're shooting them dinosaurs, they're just running at you. There's no AI to it or no. It's just boring game, boring as fuck. It only looks good compared to biggest pile of shit you see fucking laying on floor next to your shoe. That's what it looks
I
like.
love this dude. I love this guy.
I can't go after Paul, man. Like, I can't go after Paul.
Too much pressure. You should have went first, Dave.
I know, I wanted to. I was
But-
trying to sneak
but-
in first.
The developers tweeted and they did say sorry that people had a bad experience and they said they're gonna fix the game. So we see if that's gonna happen. And they also said they're gonna release special edition for PS4, which gonna be even more expensive.
Oh my fuck.
And only thing you
Are
get,
you serious?
Guys, we're also going to make it more expensive. That would be
I
fucking
hope that's an
great.
and
April
only thing
1st
you're
joke.
gonna get in that special edition is you get to ride skeletons, T-Rex skeleton. You
Why
can
would
pick
you
up
fucking
the
ride a
For what the
skeleton?
fuck
You're taking
for?
the
Yeah.
piss.
Why would you
Yeah.
ride a skeleton?
You're taking the
No,
piss.
Because it's
Is
fun,
that really-
Dave. That's what people want.
Okay,
Because these devs think that they know what we want.
here's what I think. I think
You can
so Paul
polish a
said
turd, but it's still a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, so they can't even polish it because the turd is so baked into every piece. Like the loop, the gameplay loop,
Yeah.
is you can't change it without making a different game. So they can polish stuff up, they can add more stuff. But I bet you, in a year, those dinosaurs will still run like fucking idiots down the same lane, not doing
yeah.
anything, not reacting when you shoot them, and like you're gonna be grinding for, I guess, some weapon that makes it easier to beat the stage that's not even fun. and just I don't
Stop
know.
doing this. Stop doing
I'm not
it.
doing that, Paul.
Why are you
That
doing
was
that?
You that time.
You
That was
made
you
me
that
do
time, Paul. I'm in the middle of my fucking talk, and you're just slapping my hand.
All right, so we can all now also agree that Arc Park sucks, coming from guys that played it. Then.
Oh well, yeah.
Somebody
so
entered
I
the
want to go
room.
into a
Who's
little
in
bit
the
more
room?
about.
Wait. Let's please, Dave. Yes.
Oh, wait.
Wait, who
Go
is that
ahead,
guy?
Dave.
Somebody
Seraphim.
crept into our room. Oh, Seraphim's here. Holy
Seraphim's
shit.
here. I invited Seraphim, guys.
Dude, Seraphim.
Hi guys. I was playing with toys.
Yay, Seraphim!
Are you sharing your audio so everybody can hear you? Can you guys hear Seraphim?
Yeah, let's go.
No,
Seraphim.
he's slob as a motherfucker, man. How
I
did you
was
get that?
asleep.
What's happened to your head?
Yeah. All right. That's his head.
Hey buddy.
What's that?
We gotta get hey, somebody invite Seraphim into the
I did. I'll invite him to the chat party right.
Yes, I can hear you.
in his hand.
The what?
Oh, he's gonna draw stuff.
Just give me that.
Put that shit down. Yeah, put that shit
Let him
down.
have it. Let him have it. Okay. Somebody asked what we're talking about, and it would be good. to
I
let
invited him,
Seraphim know, too.
preacher. I invited
It'd
him
be
to
good
the
let
chat
Seraphim
party.
know, too.
Okay.
Seraphim, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, so we're talking about Arc
Oh,
Park.
I invited
right
him to the party a while ago. That's right. Okay.
You played Arc Park, right?
Yeah,
Yes, he
played
did.
Arc Park
He
also.
played Arc
You
Park.
did.
That's why I
Yeah.
invited him just now. Perfect timing, bro.
Yeah, so you're the
played
third
it.
one of us. Paul went, I went. What did you think about Arc Park?
I think it was extremely scary. I'm so angry.
All right, thanks then.
I think it's more of a Kickstarter, which is actually illegal. Actually, like it's a Kickstarter, and VR shouldn't have Kickstarters. I don't know. Should it? Should we have Kickstarters?
No.
Full price at $70?
No.
I don't know.
What the fuck? No. So Kickstarter at 70 pro. No.
It's the same cost as
Well,
God of War 4.
Yeah, I mean, we also shouldn't have big
I say
franchises like Arc Park or Arc
Let's put our hands in
Survival
the
or whatever.
center. Let's all put our hands in the center. There we go.
You're the mediator.
Why don't we start talking about Roller Coaster Tycoon Joyride now? It's not good
You know
time. Speaking
You know
about
what?
shit
It's
games.
It's not on the
You know
list,
what?
but we should talk about that.
You know what? That's not even on the list, but go ahead, Paul. Tell us about Roller Coaster Tycoon.
do.
Wait,
Do
do
I-
we have
yeah,
Wipeout
I would
on
love
the
to
list?
hear what-
Do we have Wipeout on the list too? Because somebody just asked me about Wipeout.
Oh, no,
We
that's
definitely
later.
need to
That's
talk
later.
about
That's
Wipeout.
later. That's
We
later.
gotta- we
No,
gotta-
that's
dude,
later.
we're gonna talk about the good side. We're kind of dwelling on the bad right now.
So I'm telling
Yeah.
you, it's like I thought. This is going to be like a 4-hour podcast or something. It's going to be
Oh, I need to
Yeah,
do
I
news
feel like
video.
it is.
I
I
need
feel
to do
like
news
it is,
video
yeah.
today.
Yeah, I know. I gotta eat
You're not doing
Easter.
anything.
I gotta eat Easter dinner at some point.
Paul,
No, you're not doing anything.
Yes.
Thanks.
Paul, tell us about Roller Coaster Tycoon VR, please.
Fucking shit.
All right, on to the next
All
topic.
right.
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold on a second. Hold on.
Oh, hang on.
Paul. Listen, I don't want you to hold back. You really have to tell us how you really feel.
Right, I already said scraping pictures of a corpse is more fun than playing Roller Coaster Tycoon Joyride.
Oh my god.
Scraping dick what?
Scraping pictures of a corpse is more fun than
cheese.
playing this game. I said that in one of my many reviews of this
Oh, I
game.
know. I remember that.
You
I just
did.
wanted to hear you say it again.
I did. Scraping dick cheese off a corpse. All right, let's get back into more community questions.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So this
Sarah,
comes
don't
from
be
this comes from
Preacher.
God Cannon. What
Nice to
game
meet you, buddy.
surprised you the most
to
in a
meet you,
good
guy.
way?
Lost Bear.
you coming to
really
me?
like
I was
this
going to say
game.
Come to
Lost
me.
Bear. No, I was going to say
Yeah,
Lost Bear,
yeah,
Paul.
I
High
really like
five.
Lost Bear.
Lost
This
Bear.
isn't
Great.
Lost Bear.
I haven't even finished it though.
You know what?
I'm a piece of shit.
You know what? I agree. I think other than the Lost Bear, it was Moss too.
I was gonna say Moss.
already
Can I say
expecting
Moss?
to be great.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I
I'm
thought
sorry.
The demo
I'm
had
sorry.
you ready for it.
No, I didn't. I
Yeah.
played the demo. I didn't like the demo.
Surprised us the most. That was the question you
The whole
were.
game was
Controversial.
I didn't like the demo, but the rest of when I played the whole game itself as a whole
it won't.
and on the pro, it was absolutely beautiful. I had
Oh,
fun
it's
with
incredible.
it. I had fun. I cared about the character, Quill. I don't know. I think I had a really good time with that game, and this is why I kind of like the other third-person game that we got this week, which was the Preda game.
Preda,
But,
yeah, Preda's
Oh
great.
yeah,
we're
but
gonna
fucking
get into
progression
Predator.
system in this game. Yeah, okay.
Well, we're gonna get into Preda. Yeah, dude. Yeah, we'll get into Preda later.
And because of Moss, it makes me want to get Star Child and other third-person stuff like that. Like,
But don't you guys find it funny that some of our favorite games are literally games that could be played on a flat screen TV? Like you can literally.
No, I don't
could-
think Moss could ever be played on a flat-screen TV. I'm sorry.
Yes. No,
No.
you can. You can.
I don't
It's
think
a
it
fixed-
should.
It's
It would be underwhelming on
Where?
it.
How could
It
you
would be
look over
underwhelming.
areas you
Look.
can't see?
Let
Hold
me
on, real
finish
quick.
Let me finish what I'm saying. So you have Moss. You have something
I
like
literally had to-
The Lost Bear. These are games that were actually taken from flat screen genres that are increased by VR.
Well, hang on. We're going to get back to the question.
you-
Look under the table.
Yeah, we're trying
I
to get
can't.
back
I'm
to the
out of the
question.
play area.
Okay.
Hold your options button, Dave. So,
Oh no, I know what I'm doing.
so
on
some of the
purpose.
games that we all just mentioned
What's going
that
on
are-
on this under the table?
that are the games that smacked us in the face the most are games that can be played on a flat screen TV. So does VR at this point enhance standard games? I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
I guess
definitely. I think. it is.
I guess right now you could insert something like I don't know a game that may have come out this week called Wipeout, which is better played in VR.
Oh yeah,
and it's
no.
awesome.
Resident Evil, Skyrim, Wipeout, all those games that were ported, all
Give me
work.
my name back.
All work really good. So I don't know. I think that some of the
Wipeout's
ports, it
easily the
depends.
best.
Yeah, Wipeout
So-
is amazing. It looks
So-
the best. It looks the best.
What I'm trying to get you guys to go at here is if you take some of our best games that can also be played on a flat screen, are they as good? No, I'm not saying they're as good. That's the point. But when you put them in VR, are they not better? And should we be looking at more ports and more attention given to building AAA games in VR, whether they're new ones or ones from the last gen? Preacher, we're going to the left first.
I was going to say, that sounds like a separate question. But, yeah, going back to the whole surprise, though, the game that surprised me the most would be Knockout League. Because I looked at that game in the trailers and I thought, nah. And then when I read about it and it was all, what do you call it, like scripted sort of punching, I thought, nah, this is probably going to be a shit. My God, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love that game, and it's super
it's
addictive.
great.
It makes me feel like a total badass, like Rocky or something. The music, the graphics are fantastic on it. Everything about that game is
Yeah,
awesome.
it's good workout. I sweat like a pig playing this game.
I love Knockout
that's-
League, guys. You know, I streamed the whole
Yeah.
damn game on my channel.
Exactly, and that's a game that you can't do flat. Not to the level of not where the whole body's completely interacting with it, and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
getting a workout and everything. And that game
I-
completely surprised me personally.
So Lewis,
Yes.
you're at the end of the chain on this one. So anyway, Preach.
Yes.
I was saying I
Back
agree.
to, get back to our system seller games that can also be played in flat screen, which is the actual question. Should these devs be looking more at bringing over older games, ports type
Yeah,
thing,
I agree
and giving us essentially looking at VR more as something that enhances flat screen more than a gimmick? Should we be doing that?
Yeah, we should definitely be taking ports of older games. I don't see why we can't take stuff from PS3 era and even older if the game's good enough. But you know, definitely PS3 era. We should be bringing stuff over, doing what Skyrim did, because again, it's more cost effective because you've got development teams which you don't have to pay for your voice actors again. You don't have to pay to code all of the game again, only the bits that require VR, so it's much more cost effective for the studios given the size of the, like you mentioned before, the user base, the 2 million user base that we have.
Yeah, they used
So,
assets for
yeah.
Doom VFR from original Doom, and it was great.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't see why we can't take games like that. I mean, just basically turn my face into the camera that's in all of the other games.
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
And have me look around and do shit.
Seraphin, you're up next in a second.
Well, Crash
once us-
Bandicoot could be the next.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely,
delightful.
dude.
That would be delightful.
Dude,
I'd
it'd be
play
great.
that shit.
All right,
My
hey,
girlfriend,
Seraphin.
freak.
Seraphin,
Fucking-
Yeah.
are you there?
Hey, well, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How do you? You stole my name again. How do you feel about that question? Do you even know what the hell we asked?
About Crash Bandicoot becoming Praetor?
No.
VR
no,
games
no,
being
no.
remade?
Holy shit.
original games from PS3 becoming
Yes,
VR
yes,
games?
Right,
yes,
right.
yes.
Essentially,
I had to. I answered
okay.
already. Yeah.
He's done.
I said Crash
means-
Bandicoot
he
should
means-
be the next Praetor.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's done.
so that's it. You're done with that. All right,
Yeah.
Nat, go ahead.
Yes and no. Yes, if the game suits it, Wipeout suited a VR upgrade. Something like Burnout Paradise would suit a VR upgrade.
Honor and
BioShock
Duty
would
did.
suit a VR upgrade, for
Listen, we
example.
agreed that any first person would be, or driving game would be suitable. First driving
yeah.
or first person.
But then you look at other things. I mean, I think we got lucky with Skyrim.
Strawberries.
With Fallout, there's meant to have been a lot of issues with it, added to the fact, obviously, we got the entire Skyrim game because it was coded that way. Fallout 4 wasn't, and that's why I understand that wasn't given it. There's enough games that they can port some over, but if all we start getting is ports, that will turn people off very quickly, because what everybody always wants is new IPs or a refresher of a new IP.
I have a counterpoint to
agree.
that. I'm sorry, Paul, I don't want to
Go.
jump, but I have a counterpoint
No,
to that
go.
You
direct
jump.
thing.
Jump.
So, the Switch completely disproves that idea. People love ports on the Switch.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have followed the Nintendo Switch's development at all, but it's like
yes, sir.
it's riding
Yes,
on
sir.
top of the world right now, and some of the biggest games are ports. They're HD remasters of shit.
No,
They're
exactly.
older games, and
What
people
new one
are
just came out,
loving
too?
to
I
buy it
forget.
because
Yeah.
like they didn't get to experience it on the last generation. It's like spruced up a little bit. And I
Right.
think if
Yep.
we had more stuff like that, somebody commented on my stream just a minute ago. 2 out of the 3 top games are like ports essentially on PS4.
Right,
That's
I mean,
that's
Skyrim,
that's the
Yeah,
premise
so-
of this question. Should we
Yeah.
keep doing ports because our top
Yeah,
games
I think
are
it's a great
Absolutely.
legit ports?
I think it's
I
a
think
really
it's a
good
yes
idea.
all
I think
around the
there's a
board. Isn't that an
market
unanimous yes?
story that like proves that it's happened like for Switch and it worked. People bought it, they didn't give a shit. They said, "Yeah, I
yeah.
want this." And so I think that would easily happen in PSVR too.
No,
I
I
don't see why
understand what
they
you're saying
would.
with the Switch, but you also got to remember a lot of those games that have turned up on the Switch were games that were available on the Wii U. No one
yeah,
had a
yeah.
Wii U,
I did.
which is an issue. I've got a Wii U as well, but it's
Where did
not
Serpent
like
go?
it's
All those
an
fucking
Xbox
games
or a
before.
PlayStation 3 where a lot of people had those games. The problem that you have is if you keep giving ports,
What's up?
it gives the developers a lazy way out. There isn't going to be any developers that is going to try and push the envelope.
Hey, you know
Look,
what?
I
You know
like the
what?
ports initially.
I don't agree
but
with that.
I want the new IPs that are built specifically for VR. Look, there's some independent developer
but-
out there somewhere that is figuring out a game
Yep,
that can
yep,
only be
yep.
done in VR. And if
Yes,
if
sitting
all
down,
we're giving these
that sounds good.
ports, that's all that when he goes to like so let's say he goes to Sony and says, look, I haven't got the money for this, but I've got this great idea, do this, it's going to cost you this, and Sony say, yeah, we don't really care, don't get me wrong, I love Crash Bandicoot, we're going to do Crash Bandicoot 1 in VR, why don't you make
The
that
thing-
for us? Yeah, but I've got this game, it's going to cost you half the price of Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, we want to do Crash Bandicoot. We're not going to get those new IPs that are going to blow us away.
Thing is, we've
And
got
that's
so
my
many
concern.
new IPs. Yeah. We've had so many new IPs which turned out to be shit, what we've been hyped
Right.
for. I think with ports, at least we sort of know what we're gonna get.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but every console starts with ports.
No, yeah,
Jesus,
yeah.
look at the Switch. It's starting with ports. Trust me, if you're getting ports on the Switch
Well, it's
in
a
2
good
years'
mix. No, no,
time,
it's a good mix.
You've
It's
got
a good
you've got a
mix.
major issue.
Yeah, we
with
need a
this,
good mix. We need a good mix, but I would also add that VR adds a massive world of difference compared to just porting it to a Switch or porting it to another flat device. The fact that you're actually in the...
Well,
I mean,
so the one thing about the Switch, so I love my fucking Switch, and the thing
I
about it
do
is
too, man. I love my Switch.
people,
Fucking addicted.
it's. I feel like that and VR kind of hit me the same way because it is something different that you haven't really seen before, and it's like surprising that it works as well.
no,
as
but
it
the point
does.
out I would
And
make...
you're
the
just
be-
kind of like,
Sorry, Dave.
oh no, go ahead. That's
No, the point that I would like to add to that would be when I played Doom VFR and I got to the original Doom levels, the game that I played 20 odd years ago on a PC, the fact that it's still the same shitty pixelated textures and it's blocky as hell didn't bother me because I was in Doom. I was I was actually
Doom
in
is
there.
incredible. I love
And
Doom VFR.
I would
Some
quite
people gave
happily
that a hard time, but
yeah, I'd quite happily have the original Doom the full original Doom with all of the pixelated enemies, the sprites, etc., but have me actually in the
Yeah.
world, it changes everything for me. So I think that there's still... I agree with what Nat's saying. You can't literally just do ports, otherwise you are going to kill the system. But at the same time, ports are a very good way of bolstering up everything for a cheap cost at this early stage when we don't have, you know, the user base.
AAA titles that we
exactly.
need.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, say you ported like this is out of left field Turok for PSVR. It's not a
Holy hell.
PlayStation game. That would be better than Arc Park easily. That would.
Oh,
you
dude,
know,
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well,
Turok
Robinson
for
was
Nintendo
better than,
64.
I thought Robinson was better. I thought Robinson was better than Ark Park.
No, I did
course
too,
it was.
Lewis. I
Of
did
course it
too,
was.
Lewis. Robinson was way better, and that was the launch title.
Are we gonna? Are you missing Seraphim?
Yeah,
he's-
he's probably
he's-
off doing something. I bet she's just
He-
wandering around.
Actually,
he's running around.
I'll answer. No, I was accidentally got out of the door. Another invite would be great. That'd be
Gotcha,
awesome.
buddy.
I didn't want to interrupt you guys.
Oh no.
All right,
no.
so we're
Interrupt us.
gonna go off to another question.
Um,
I got you,
This
buddy.
comes from
Unless you got it. You got it. Preach.
I'm trying to find
this
it.
comes from Justin LeBach.
Thank you.
Oh, did he leave?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta step away for maybe like 5 minutes. I'm gonna just
Okay.
leave my headset running.
He's gonna
No,
have
you're-
a
you're
sheet.
fine.
Fine. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Preacher, you can take this first because Luce is trying to get
Okay.
Seraphim back in here. This comes from Justin LeBach. How do your significant others feel about you using the PSVR and uploading to YouTube?
Ooh.
And how does it affect your relationship?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm not in this one, guys. I don't have a significant other.
no,
Okay.
never mind.
Yeah, it
No, thanks.
it has started. February was a tough month. That's for as much as I could say.
A lot of games in Febs.
Especially with this being new, since I'm the newest guy here, you know, I'm like 100 and some subs now. This is all new to me. It's all new to her. It's all new to how the hell do I fit this into my normal schedule? Because I got full-time work and then I've got like other hobbies and stuff. And I always seem to take on new hobbies. And this is another one. And February there was a ton of videos, and you were talking maybe 2 to 3 videos per game. You know, like a first impressions and then a review and a let's play. And it did eat a chunk of time, and there was a few times I did get wrong. For
There he is. He's sitting over
spending
there.
too much time on the VR and not enough with her, so it did affect things a bit. But we're okay. Everything's all right. It's just a learning curve. That's my answer for that one.
So,
Alright,
Nat,
alright.
Nat.
I don't have a significant other, so it doesn't affect that anyway. And besides, I have terrible time management, so that's most probably why I don't have a significant other. So,
Polly Wally.
I just get punching balls every now and then when I wear headset. But apart from that, we work like opposite shift, so it's not been really a problem.
Oh,
Because when
nice.
she's at work, I'm at home.
Oh, so you're lucky enough that she works when you're not working, and you work
Yeah,
when
most
she's
of
not
the
working.
time, most of the time. Yeah. So it's not really been a problem. When we both at home, sometimes I just don't do the video. Sometimes she go play something on her PS4 and then I do video. It's always somehow like works out somehow.
What about you, Ewo?
And Lewis, you said you're single?
Oh yeah. Nothing to deal with here.
All right,
Just,
well, I
just
guess
like
I,
family walking in every now and again, like I'm fucking screaming. What do you want? What do you want? That's it. That's about it.
Hey guys.
There
I'm
he
back.
is. Hey, buddy.
I'm wheeling
But,
back.
there he is. He's back.
Oh my god,
Seraphim.
that's an effort.
Seraphim,
I'm just gonna have a smoke real quick. Yeah, what's up? Who said that?
do you have a significant other?
God? Is that you? No, hey, yeah, well.
Yes, he
Well,
does.
those private questions will be answered privately.
So, Seraphim, you have a significant other, correct?
Private question. I'll answer it privately.
No, he
you-
doesn't want to answer.
Okay,
he's,
fair enough.
he's passing. I think he's passing. You don't want to talk about
What
it.
about you, Ewo?
I don't want to talk about it.
No,
It's too
dude,
horrible.
I don't
get it.
I don't have any issues with it. Being the
I'm
white
so
man,
lonely, man.
she's 38, I'm 36, and pretty much it is my channel's live stream, so I don't edit things. I don't spend
My
too much
girlfriend's
time.
50.
I don't spend too much time offline. You know, pretty much I do a 3-minute video. That's it. And Jesus, put your bong away. But no, it's
He's kidding. He's kidding.
yeah, I'm just joking.
He's
I'm
smoking.
just joking. But
He's smoking.
it doesn't
smoking in here.
affect it doesn't affect you if you have the ability to go as a man, okay, or a woman that wants to do a YouTube channel or anything. Doesn't affect everybody else in the family. I mean, I know all you guys. She doesn't know you guys. And for any type of relationship, when you have online friends that are pretty much like family, I mean, that affects the dynamic of a relationship. So pretty much you just got to make sure that they know that you care about them and you love them. And when the time comes,
All right, Dr. Phil. Let's get back to VR stuff.
They get the attention they deserve, and that is what it is. No, I'm saying, dude, there's 18-year-old kids out there that want to start YouTube channels, and they're going to neglect their girlfriend, and they're going to regret it for the rest of their lives. So I will shut up and not give my advice, but they're going to lose the love of their life over this bullshit. And this is bullshit.
See,
this is bullshit. What we're doing, it's for fun, and it is some childish crap. But that's fine.
Children.
That's fine. I'll do a video on my own channel talking to the young kids about how not to lose the love of your life over stupid video games. I'll do that on my own.
I've seen many videos of like girlfriends destroying their boyfriend's consoles, throwing it in the pool, running it over cars, whatever.
You should have seen how mad I got at Lewis the other day. I threw his console so hard against the wall. I was like, you never spend time with me anymore.
He did. He did.
I get so mad.
So you got with kids though getting into YouTube, and it's crazy, and I'm sure Paul's had this, and I'm sure Davestation's had this, and Seraphin, is you get them and it's like, oh well, I'm trying this, and you know I haven't got the viewers, I haven't got the subscribers, and you know, and they're already planning on making this into a career. It's absolutely insane. Look, I make the videos I do because I want to have fun, and I've always said this: the one day that I don't have fun is the one day that I'll walk away from it. At the moment, I'm having fun. The money that I get from AdSense is nice. I mean, it helps buy a few games here and there, but it isn't anything I rely on. It's just I've always seen that as a bonus that happens. And as for the actual videos, look, you can't control how many people are going to watch a video. And all right, we just take the piss out of Paul for his clickbaity titles and stuff. I ain't got a problem with his clickbaity titles. I find them rather amusing, actually.
I take piss out of it as well, so no worries.
He's by far not the clickbaitiest person I've seen, though. There's worse than him.
But you can put as much clickbait as you want in an article. That doesn't mean people are going to actually view it. So the only thing you can do is make the video that you want to make, put it out there. It will get the views that it gets, and if it does well, it does well. I mean, like I say, I discussed this with AWOL when we were playing Arizona Sunshine. My most popular video has got over 150,000 views. I didn't even think it was a very good video. It's just literally talking about the differences between the new and the old.
That happens all the time. We talk about me and Seraphim talk about that all the time. Yeah. Like you'll have the shittiest video, now that'll be the most popular one for some reason. And then you'll have a video that you worked hard on, you edited, you put music in, you did all this good stuff, and it got like, 200 views.
50 views.
Well, it's like the old part video that I did. That was just like me having a bit of fun. Because I remembered the Downfall videos, and I was like, well, I'm not going to... I actually initially tried to do it with Downfall, and it was like, no, the Downfall's like 3 minutes long. It's too long for that. And then I remembered about the Spanish guys laughing. And I was like, okay, well, that's about, I think, a 2-minute video. It's actually a minute and a half. And I was like, you know what, I can cut that down to about a minute, dub certain bits over it, and I think I can make that work. And I think a few people will get a chuckle out of it, and it's done really well. But yeah, I just kind of did it for me because it actually made me laugh. And then, obviously I've had you guys turn up and say, actually, this is hilarious. Please, please do more of them. So, but yeah, like I say, I just did it because it's like, well, this makes me laugh, so maybe it'll make other people laugh.
7 degrees? Is that you?
It is, Seraphim.
Dude, I'm sorry. I thought you were someone else. Hey, buddy.
Nah, it's me, Seraphim.
You look good. You look good. I'm confused, but I'm okay.
Hey, keep your eyes this high. It's not there.
Stop looking at my
I've got those things.
She does look good.
But yeah, that's
7 degrees. Is that you?
But you're up. Look, kids, if any kid wants to get into YouTube, get into it because you want to have a bit of fun, you want to have a bit of loss. It can be hard to do it. Like I say, with the videos, as you say, that me and Paul, Dave, concentrate on more edited type videos. That takes up a lot more time to do. So you got to make sure that you're doing it because that's the video you want to do. Put it out. If it gets 100,000 views, it gets 100,000 views. If it gets 12 views, it gets 12 views. If you're happy with the video, you're successful.
Totally agree.
It's whatever. I do. This is for what? Are we getting into that now? The question about the YouTube channels and blah blah blah.
You know what? And that's where we'll go with this. So that's what we're gonna do now. So why do we all do it? Why do we
got a question?
We might as well just watch
Seraphim's got his hand raised.
Cool.
He's so polite.
He is.
When I was a kid, my parents were really against gaming, and they were like, "Don't touch games. You're not allowed to get. If you're gonna get a game, you're not gonna get a car. You're gonna get a job. You gotta work hard, man. You gotta work hard."
Wait, did they never play like cards or anything? Like
they didn't never let me have
like,
fun. So I'm like,
but did they ever
So
play
I'm having
games
fun now.
that weren't video games?
no. My dad was an asshole. Like he was a real
okay.
prick.
Yeah.
He was like all work and death only, and my
You
mum was
turned out
like.
great.
Crazy. I didn't, but I did my best. Thanks. I think I turned out okay. I'm a little messed up, but I gotta say, I'm the happiest I've ever been, probably right now, because of VR. You know what I mean? Like, it gives me the chance to relive those childhood dreams that I never got to have, which is fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's
Fantastic.
Really
And that's why YouTube's good for me, because I feel like I can share my experiences. Because I feel like when I experience them myself, it's going nowhere, like in a black hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there's no point in experiencing
True,
it myself.
true. Yeah, very true.
Strange.
Oh, it's great stuff, Seraphim.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do it.
PlayStation.
I don't do YouTube for.
You made him walk out of the party.
You've walked
I
out
don't
of
do
it.
it for money, the YouTube. I don't
Thanks,
want
Dad.
any money, but I just booked honeymoon and bought wedding rings. So I've got donations
Yeah.
on, so feel free. No, it's not for money.
Well, congratulations to your engagement there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It
That's
costs,
awesome.
yeah, honeymoon book.
Congratulations.
I'm sick now.
cool. Yeah, congrats, Paul.
Raise a
Wait,
drink
hold
to
on a
that.
second,
I
Paul.
got things to.
Paul just didn't answer the significant other impact question though, and you're getting
did.
married.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, the impact. So I wasn't here for this, but the funny thing is, while I was away, my girlfriend was wearing my headset, just looking at you guys, not saying anything.
No shit.
Yeah, no, I was
Did
gone
she
for
saw
that
my-
whole time.
Did she saw my
I don't know.
book?
I got an invite
know
from
what
like
she
a
saw.
random
Holding hands.
person.
What
I got an invite from like a random person.
But what was
No,
the
I'm not really
question
sure.
about? Was it impact on your
And your
spouse or
relationship in
significant
real
other?
life, pretty much.
That
Yes,
was-
with
that
VR.
was the last question,
And YouTube
and
channels.
Dave-
And YouTube channels.
Well, I feel like
Hold up,
honestly,
Dave.
she
And
likes
she
likes
on
this
top
shit.
of that, hey,
You like it,
Dave,
right? Yeah, she's into it.
Dave,
She thinks it's
on
cool.
top of that though, we're on another question, which is why you do your channel. Actually, like why you do it. So answer both in one go.
Oh yeah, well I just did the one about this significant other because she's sitting on the couch. She said she's into it.
Cool,
She
yeah.
likes it. It's not. I mean, she also lives about an hour away. We're not like we don't live together.
Oh,
so it doesn't
okay,
really
okay,
doesn't like infringe on like us spending time together. And she likes VR stuff too. I've put her in Rush of Blood. There's like a stream of her doing Rush of Blood.
Yes.
Oh
I
hey,
remember.
Brian from Without Parole just commented he does it for drug money. Brian, I thought you got clean, man. I thought you turned your shit around. Is there a litter box episode about how you're relapsing? Okay, so, anyways.
I wish
what's up,
Brian could be
Thanks for-
here.
He could. Brian, get your ass in here. We got room. We could put another chair around here. Anyways.
And
And Frankie.
Why do you
I
do
want
it?
to see
So,
Frankie.
when I realized I had the PSVR, Seraphim, we decided we weren't going to do that on the stream.
Yeah.
What, clap
Does
it?
anybody else see this glass that's just stuck inside the lamp? Paul, I was trying to show you earlier. Look at this thing. You see this
it
glass
look like
that's
I was
just stuck
messing with
inside
it?
the lamp?
It is. Yeah, you're right.
It's
That's
just hanging
amazing.
out.
Oh.
Ah.
I've got
It
this,
better when it was in
I've
there.
got cards,
wanna
and
put it back
this
in here.
thing stuck to my hands.
Oh yeah, you can just stick it right in there. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hey, Dev. What
what
are we
she
not
said.
doing on the stream? Just in
Best
case
round
anybody's-
table ever,
So
guys.
the reason why you do it, I realized pretty early on that you could just hit a button and be broadcasting on YouTube, and then I realized that even though I was just drunkenly talking about pixel gear, people were like watching it and like commenting, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. This is cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And so as I started doing it, I realized that there wasn't really anybody covering a lot of these smaller games. And like, you look at IGN, you look at fucking, I mean, I don't anymore, but like even websites I look at for gaming coverage, they don't talk about fucking PSVR unless
Yes,
it's Moss
you're right.
or it's Resident
Right.
Evil 7
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something huge.
Right,
like
right.
a couple places
Huge,
mentioned Wipeout.
huge.
All right,
A couple
pal.
places mentioned Wipeout.
Seraphin, get back
and there
here,
was one
Sheriff.
really good one that was like, "Hey, stop what you're doing and play Wipeout" on like Kotaku or something, which is like pretty big. But I felt like nobody was covering this stuff, and if I could and people would watch me, then fuck it, I might as well.
Nice answer, man.
So yeah.
I just broke everyone's neck
spot
in
on.
like 5 seconds. If this was a real
Seraphin,
fight.
get out of here.
So,
That took you longer than that. Polish Paul.
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
Wait, skipping me?
nice to meet you, Polish Paul. I love your channel, by the
Hello.
way. It's so good.
Have you guys never
so
talked
funny.
before?
Jinx.
Love it. Love it.
No,
Love it.
we're gonna get there.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Paul. I want to hear
And
Paul talk.
Davestation.
What
I
that
can
video
listen
is
to Paul
about?
talk.
So
I can
funny,
listen to
man.
Paul
I
talk
love
all
it.
day.
Why I'm doing YouTube?
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Do YouTube.
I'm doing
Sorry,
YouTube.
this is being
I
recorded, Paul.
I don't know. I just started. I bought. What did I bought? I bought something really shitty, and I've
You
done
started
video
on a
about
boat?
it. And then I just was. People watched it, so I was thinking like, fuck it, I do some more, and that's how I
Essentially,
started.
yeah. That's how it goes.
Nice.
Didn't you say the first video you saw of someone on PSVR doing YouTube was me playing Perfect?
Yeah, that was my
That's one of my
ever
most popular
PSVR
videos,
video.
and I'm just
Yeah,
shitting
exactly.
all over that fucking game. I always worry if an End Dreams game comes out, I'm like, should I even bother asking them for a code? Because they're probably just like, oh, that's the guy who has the top-rated Perfect video about how it's terrible.
That's a
I
problem
get
with being
that
honest
so often.
sometimes.
Yeah, you're up.
That,
No, Dave was talking about that. Obviously, I did the video on Don't Knock Twice, and that's the first time that I actually had developers contact me. And it was just like, well, thanks for calling us scumbags, and we're really sorry that we made a game that you were so angry about.
Wait, they said that to you?
that's hilarious.
Like,
Well,
passive-aggressive about it?
I made a video, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'd had a shit day at work, and I went and played Don't Knock Twice, and obviously, as a lot of you guys know, it's shit. Or it was shit when it initially launched. It was horrible. And I was so mad. And initially I tried to go to sleep. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go to bed. And I was like lying there for 10 minutes and I was just tossing. And I was like, fuck this. This fucking game is really pissed me the fuck off. And that's why I made the quick video that I did. Just, you motherfucker, you scumbags, and shit like this. And I didn't think anything more of it. I think it was Do Not Buy, Don't Knock Twice, It's Broken. I think that was the title of it, and left it at that.
I think I remember that. Yes.
And then I literally started getting messages through, and then I started getting messages from the developer Wales Interactive, and it was just like, well, we're sorry, we're trying to fix the game. And it was like, okay, you've only seen the first minute of that video. Wait until you pass the minute section. And then literally, I think it was about 2 minutes later, I got another message from them, and it was like, yeah, okay, they've watched the rest of the video now, and it was like, well, sorry, you called us scumbags and stuff like that. So, and then obviously I've got issues with Supermassive Games when I obviously streamed The
I hate those
Impatient a few
people.
days early, and they literally
Oh, did they
just,
give you a hard time for that?
they copyright striked me on YouTube, which is why I can't stream
shit.
on YouTube
Yeah, that's why he's streaming on Twitch,
Wait,
dude.
still can't stream on. That's terrible. That's
until the end of April. You get a 3
No,
month
that happened to
ban.
me too,
Lewis
man.
got
They
that.
didn't want anybody to
Yeah.
know
Oh,
how
yeah,
terrible
seven.
a game
No,
was.
that happened. Yeah. Well, I told you that on, we played Wipeout the other day with the whole. Yeah, it happened to me too.
Oh,
at
that was
Farpoint.
fun as shit too, by the way.
Oh,
I
yes, it
had
was.
the
That was
developers
awesome.
of
Seven,
Flippy
we were
Stella
watching you, me
contacting
and
me.
Lewis, and that day you got in trouble, and it already happened to Lewis one time, so we knew what could happen. So I was freaking out, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude, are you allowed to stream?" You're like, "Oh, I don't care, it's okay," sort of thing. And I'm like, "No, you're gonna get in trouble."
Well, so you
I
hadn't
was
gotten
so
a review
worried,
code or
man.
anything, though, right?
But the thing is,
got it
I
early,
streamed
right?
Star Trek
Yeah.
Bridge Crew, and that went out 4 days. That actually went out earlier than bloody Impatient
Well,
did.
here's the deal.
in
That was a
relation
good
to it.
game.
That was a PC
actually
game.
a good game.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
what-
actually
nice
gave
stuff about,
Impatient a
probably,
glowing
right?
review.
Yeah, but they
Oh,
released a
did
lot
they
of
really?
footage. They had a lot of footage of Star Trek before the game came out.
That's true.
Impatient had
That's
no
true.
footage.
That's true.
It was really
was a-
funny
it
because
was
when
like
I
a
actually put my
trailer.
review up, I was actually. I think, and I've said this to Wales, I made a mistake with the Impatient, and I think the reason I made the mistake is I was so excited about having it early that I think I kind of let a lot of the shit that is annoying about that game slide. Because at
Oh,
the end,
gotcha.
there is still a fairly good game in there, it's just that, A, it needed
It's
to be
somewhere
about
in there.
3
I
times
couldn't-
longer.
I
Honestly,
couldn't fucking
hey.
find. Is it an Easter egg? Because I couldn't fucking find it.
Well, there was
I
one
couldn't
scare.
finish
It
this
should have been.
game.
There was
Too
a
long.
lot. They could have made a better story, and they could have made more scares, definitely.
Too right.
So I kind of gave it a score. It's like, okay, well, there's replayability because you've got different endings. Not that I actually knew there's, I think there's 3 endings in the goddamn game. And then when they hit me, and the bit was, if they'd just turned around and said, look we're going to leave it as a copyright strike, sorry, I'd have been fine. What got me angry about it was they turned around and said, yeah, we're going to leave it as a copyright strike. But if you want to upload the videos again, please do so. We won't copyright strike those. And it's like, hold on a second. You've copyright striked me first time. So that should be a copyright strike across the board. But when I've put them out is irrelevant. So you turning around to me and saying, hey, we can, put them out again. Please do. No, I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that?
They asked me
That's
to
just
do was only good one.
If you were under embargo or something, like that's one thing. If you broke
That's where
an
they got me.
embargo, but did you have a review
I didn't
copy?
No, you got it from the store,
Well, so here's the
Amazon
thing,
or something.
there is no concept of an embargo if you buy it in a store.
No,
it's
I
not
made that
on
point
you
to them.
Yeah, it's not on you to honor
No,
their
but that's what
embargo
happened to
because
me,
they didn't
Dave.
give you a code. I know, it's
I didn't
just
know.
fucked up. I'm just saying, it's
I
just
know.
fucked up.
It's totally fucked up.
totally wrong.
And like part of my early days
but
on the channel, I streamed Robinson early,
Right.
and I got away with it. And
Right.
like, if I hadn't been able to, and I got cut
But
off from
as a
streaming,
casual,
where the
as
fuck
a
would I
casual
be now,
YouTuber,
you know? Like,
right, exactly. As a casual YouTuber, like someone who just like, oh, I'm gonna start streaming today, and I just got a new game, wouldn't really know about stuff like embargoes and shit like that.
yeah, of course.
They would just get shit. Oh man, now I can't do it for 90 days after this. What the hell? Who fucked
Which
you?
is exactly why my channel, what I can get on the fucking PSN store is when I stream it. I don't break any embargoes. Nobody can say shit. I don't use codes. I don't get games early. I fucking buy them when I can buy them, and I say what I have to say.
You should
Well, you
ask
learn
people
shit,
for codes
yeah.
and get games early because, like, you can. Like, you have
Have you,
subscribers and shit.
Dave? Have you seen my station? If they ask these stupid things in the emails, like
they don't look
send
at
it-
your channel before they send you the
They go,
fucking
they go,
code,
they
man.
go, they go. What's your
There's
most
been
recent?
If they look
I've
at my
already
channel, I
reviewed
would
a
never
game.
get a
There's been-
code.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's times where
way.
I've already reviewed a game, and they ask me if I want a code, and I send them my link, and I'm like, yeah, sure. And it's like they didn't
it's
even
happened
look
to me
to see
a few
that I
times, yeah.
just did a review. So they
Yeah.
still send me one, and I'm like, fine, I'll give it away. But like, yeah, they don't care. I mean, just ask for codes, man. You don't have to spend all your own money to play all these games. and it's half of them
my
end up being weirdo.
my channel is every game I've ever bought. It's all on my channel. If I ever get a code, I'll give it away. That's just how I do it.
That's nice of you. That's cool, but
That's how I do it, man. Actually,
just
Dave,
saying,
you do
ACG,
this.
yeah.
You can ask,
ACG's the
man.
same
Dave,
way though. He buys every
Dave.
game.
Dave, you're the
Does he
first
really?
station I
Yeah.
ever watched.
Say,
Give me that. Put it down. Yeah. Dave's the first station I ever watched. And back. Dave keeps stealing my name.
Look
but
at
no.
Sarah was gonna get it.
And,
Yeah, I was looking at that.
back then, Dave, man, back in 2016, early 2017, you didn't get codes. You were
No, I
Probably
bought
buying
everything.
them.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
so I was talking to Brian from Without Parole, and at the beginning, he actually like reposted my videos on his channel because he had some more subscribers, and he was like, "Hey man, I like your shit. I'd like to like, I don't do Let's Plays, but I like your Let's Plays. So can that be a feature on my channel?" I was like, "Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
You can repost them if you want." But he mentioned to me that he was getting codes from developers and stuff, and sometimes they would just like reach out to him, and I was like, "Fuck, I'll just bug him."
No,
Like,
yeah,
I don't
that's
wanna pay
happened.
for shit.
yeah, you told me that
I
about how
want
to
it
get a
early.
code. Davestation
I
told me
want it
how to
early.
get codes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the time, if you find the right email address on their website, it's not hard.
That's what I usually
most
do.
developers will get back to you.
It's true.
I
Like,
spend a
it's
lot
only
of time
when
hunting people down.
Supermassive won't get you. Fucking Sony won't get you if it's like a big like AAA
Title,
but,
big
like,
title, yeah.
Otherwast, most games that are
Yeah.
coming out, people just want.
But
to
But like
discover
the
Expensive
small, yeah, the
videos.
small, like the small indie developers, I
covering
literally,
shit.
the small and like Cold Iron, I literally hit them up on Facebook. I just Facebook messaged them, and they were like, yeah, here, on Facebook. They were literally like, oh, thanks for so much for hitting us up. Here's a code.
Yeah,
They
exactly,
stopped talking
exactly.
to me after I did review of Cold Iron. They never spoke to me after.
Never, no,
Cold Iron?
no.
Did you not?
That
No,
was
I
it.
had that situation as well, but I did buy their game, so
Yeah, I just didn't
I've had
like
loads
it.
of developers.
And I've had developers of Flippy's Tesla contacting me and saying that they don't agree with my review and maybe I'm gonna change my opinion about it. but in the end, in my
They
review,
send somebody to your house.
I
They send a guy to
recommended
knock
the
on your door.
game. That's the best part. I recommended the game in the end of the review, so what
No.
they want me to change it to not recommend it.
My
All right, next question. We're gonna get off of the review code bullshit, but no, Paul, that's exactly why I don't use them, because they'd tell me too. They'd be like, "We don't agree with you."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wait, because
They give you a code.
wait.
They don't know. I mean, the only person that I know that actually, I know we weren't going to go into this. This is
This is not the point of this. This is
like,
more of the
I will say
YouTuber stuff.
sometimes people get codes and it does affect their reviews. Most of us sitting here, I don't think that's the case.
Fuck no.
Nope.
So
Most of the codes I get, though, the games are fun.
Particular names or anything, but.
Ask
you
Steve.
Somebody gave Ark Park a decent review. Somebody gave Ark Park a pretty good review.
Real quick, AWOL. The one time for Sprint Vector came out, and a lot of you guys got codes for Sprint Vector.
I've got
and
four,
stuff
but
like
never
that, right?
reviewed it.
And
You never reviewed Sprint Vector?
No,
No?
never played it once. Didn't have chance.
no
Oh,
shit.
it's so fun.
But listen to
send me
this.
codes.
No,
Yeah.
that's
One
of my
that's another
favorites.
thing. That's another thing.
I
Right?
need
So
to try it.
listen to the listen. So I emailed them, and and I think at the same time Seraphim, I gave him the email. So I was like, Seraphim, I found the email for Sprint Vector, and he emailed them around the same time, right? And they emailed me back saying that I wasn't a part of a like a review list, not a review list, but like a
Press list.
I forget what press list, something they said. And select partners. I'm sorry, select partners. That's the way they said, select partners. That's how they used it. So, and then a day later, I think, like Seraphim got the review code, but I didn't. So I hit him back up again saying, hey, you got any extra codes? I'm like, nah, you're not a select partner. But I was like, how's that possible? I get like if you're a select partner, that means you probably emailed them like months ago and you got on a review list or something like that. But if I emailed them at the same time when you guys did, you got one, I didn't. I was just like, what the hell? But I ended up getting the game anyway, and I loved it. I still love Sprint Vector. So, but it was weird. It was just a weird thing that happened.
That's why
I only
you
do
know what-
reviews if I've got something to say.
That's why I don't worry about the code bullshit, man. The game comes out,
Yeah.
I pay the fucking
Yeah.
money, and that's where my reviews come from.
Yeah, I only
give
do
no
it
fucks
sometimes.
about
Yeah.
these fucking douchebags and their fucking game. If it sucks, I say it sucks. If it's good, I say it's good. And they have nothing to say to me or give me anything because I bought it with my money because I'm just another motherfucking consumer doing my job.
You know,
That's
If I even if I get a
I've
code,
never
yeah,
had
even
anyone
if
say
I
shit
I
to me.
deal with any of this shit.
So
if I get a
I've
code
done
and I
really
don't like
negative-
the game, I'm still gonna say that I don't like the game.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I
same.
do the
Well, I
same.
got
If
a
I do
code for
that-
American Way, so
American Dream.
Yeah.
American Dream, and I slated that because it was just so boring. I
Yeah,
didn't
there's
even
nothing
get
to
to
do.
the end.
There's no
I
game in
couldn't
that
get to the
fucking
end.
game.
It was
Yeah, but I didn't
freaking
get to the
weird.
end.
It was weird
I
as
had
shit.
Abel and everybody else turned
And
around to
they-
me, go,
they
when you
really
get to the end,
overdid it.
it's weird. It's like, I couldn't get to the end. In fact, I actually did a review for it, and there's a bit in my Let's Play that I put in the review, and it's literally the bit where it turns around in the game and says, you've got to the halfway point, and literally I howl in pain, because it's like, no, I can't just be at the halfway point. This is just torture. And I put that in there, and it's like, well, look, you sent me a review code. I'm reviewing the game, and your game is shit. And I'm not going to say.
Yeah,
So-
that's fine. That's fine, and everybody does
Nat-
that. Everybody does that here. But like, I've never had a reviewer reach out to me or a developer reach out to me and be like, "Hey, man, we don't agree with you." Like, I don't worry about that.
I have, and I don't even get
worry about
review
that.
codes. I have, and I don't even get codes. They hate the shit I say. They fucking hate it. They
I had
do.
one. I won't name the company, but I had one company that turned around and said, "We're going to give you a review code. We'd like you to say this in your review." And it was just like,
No.
"You give me the review code. I'm going to
Yeah,
say what I
I've-
want in the
yeah.
review."
Yeah,
And
that's
they
happened.
didn't
That's
give me the
happened. Yeah.
I told you to hide the cards, Breach.
I'm sorry.
All right, what's our next question?
Next question, yeah, carry on.
All right, off to the next question. We're gonna get off of YouTube fucking bullshit that
Yeah,
matters
this
to us.
is like
It doesn't
inside
matter to you guys.
baseball. This is
Yeah, let's
inside
move it
baseball.
along.
So this is from Ian McNevermind. Do you have to have a YouTube channel to be considered a VR expert? Or non-VR streamer? No.
People write
Listen,
books about.
someday invite to the conversation.
Yeah, no.
I think when I read this question, I thought one thing. It was like some of us. There's lots of guys. You guys know on your own channels, all these channels, we have a lot of the same people that comment. Some people just don't want to put their own opinion out there and put a face and a name to it and be ridiculed. Like, I mean, you have to have thick skin to do this, and I think we're not necessarily experts. I've been gaming for 33 years, which helps me, but you know, at the end of the day, it's pretty much the balls to go out and talk and have a channel called Lewis Knight PSVR, Davestation VR, Polish Paul, 7 Degrees, Seraphin's bullshit.
and what Seraphin, you better eat those cards, man. I want you to eat those cards. Your mouth is wide open.
There was another guy that
eat those cards.
That commented also that it had done YouTube years ago and got into a a bit of a tiff with somebody over some stuff. So they're kind of like they're standoffish. But I guess I don't consider myself an expert. I just buy them all and play them, and I don't know how you guys feel, but I just give people the best opinion I can, so they should not buy the game. So you guys can go around and say what you say, but that's all I'm trying to do. It's not get your ripped off.
I totally agree with you. That's it. Yeah, I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah. So Lewis agrees, Davestation.
Oh yeah, no, he looked right at me immediately, and I was like, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree.
No, but hold on.
We are
editing shit.
So no, you don't have to be an expert, or you don't have to pretend to be an expert. So that's.
Oh wait,
like,
Davestation is going again.
I am going. I didn't. I was just saying I agreed, but. I think having played most of the games doesn't make you an expert, but it gives you some perspective at least, and you can compare things in a way that somebody who's just like a random consumer who spends like $20 a month on PSVR games or something like, who it's good to have that perspective of playing everything. So it's not like being an expert or being great at the games, because like I suck at most of these fucking games.
Dude, look at us at the other night playing Lewis and fucking Wipeout, man. We're back in the fucking tail end. The whole
yeah, me too, man. I think I won once, and I was like, I remember my hands
That stuck to my hands. This can't get it off.
Yeah, my hands are broken. I can't see them.
My hands are cut.
The only thing I'd say is that no one needs to be an expert to do this, because let's put it this way: who is the biggest personality on YouTube? PewDiePie. He ain't an expert of anything. He's just a guy that got lucky. Look, people liked him. People liked him. Whether you like PewDiePie or not, look, a lot of people like PewDiePie.
I watch PewDiePie.
Even PewDiePie will turn around and say, I'm not an expert. If you watch him
isn't he like a competitive gamer? Like he plays well at stuff?
No, he doesn't. If you actually watch some of his gameplay, he's actually crap at a lot of games.
He's a bad gamer. He's not even a good gamer.
What he's really, I tell you what PewDiePie's really good at is literally making a game, even if it's boring and anything, fun. Because he'll just take the piss out of it, and people like that. And look at the guy. He's got, 55 million subscribers. That is an insane number. No one's anywhere close to him. Even PewDiePie will say he's not an expert. Christ, the guy makes so much money. And I'll give him his dues. He gives a lot of it away to charity. He actually literally puts his money where his mouth is, which a lot of people don't. But YouTube is very democratic, that anyone can do it, and the general public out there will decide who they like. When I started this, if you'd have turned around to me and said, because I'm almost hitting my 2-year anniversary of starting this YouTube channel, if you'd have turned around to me at 2 years' time, 2 years ago, and said, in 2 years' time you're going to have 1,700 subscribers, I'd have literally, it would have taken about an hour, and then after I'd have stopped laughing, I would have said, nah. But I've got 1,700 subscribers.
Nice
it's so many more than I ever anticipated.
You're pushing 1,800 there, dude.
Am I? Okay. Look, the people out there have decided. I mean, JD's a perfect example. I mean, obviously he's active on all our channels. But like JD has been so active on my channel. Yeah, he said hi to me as well. But he's been active on my channels. He actually does more for my channel than I do. You know, I put a little bit of stuff on Twitter, and he's like tweeting it and all this other stuff.
He's same thing. He puts it on Reddit. Yeah, he Reddit it.
Yeah, it's an insane level.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I'm so appreciative, which is why one of the reasons why whenever I get a comment, I will do as much as I possibly can to answer each individual comment, even if it's the ones that not me. Like I had some girl on what was it? What was the video? Arc Park, when I said I wasn't going to buy it because it was £45, which was my initial complaint about it. Her comment to me was, "If you can't afford to pay, don't play." And I was like, okay, fair enough. I can actually afford to pay for the game, but I just don't want to. I just didn't want to pay for it. So I just turned around and I kind of said, well, you know, I can afford to pay for the game, don't like it. If you're happy paying, because the PC version is $31.99 on Steam, so it's £13 more.
Seriously?
So it's about it's $15 more that we pay on PlayStation VR.
So it's got more content as well. Yeah, it's more content.
Yeah, it's got more content.
You can
So
change
anyway,
everything. Yeah.
I ended
beautiful on PC.
I ended the conversation with her saying, if you're happy paying £13 more for the same game with less content, with shittier visuals, you're an idiot, and there's no hope for you. And I left it at that. And then she replied to me
I called somebody an idiot on my channel too. Like, if you want to buy it, you're an idiot.
And then she replied to me 2 days. She replied to me 2 days later to that, saying, "Oh, you're a class act. You say this is always a discussion and conversation, but obviously it isn't that. Calling someone an idiot is very classy. I'm going to unsubscribe." And after again about an hour of laughing at that, I then replied to her, "Oh no, please don't go. I'm really, really sorry. I will do anything." And then I just put in brackets, "By the way, that's satire, bye," and put the quotes, and obviously I haven't heard back from her. But it's just like, look, I've always said this is a discussion and conversation on my channel. You can put whatever you want. You can disagree with me. In fact, and I've said this to people, one of the reasons I was looking forward to this is the people that have got different opinions to myself. Because I do think it's important that you listen to what other people have got to say. You can always agree to disagree at the end of the day. This isn't
I don't think that's important at all.
Life and death at the end of the day. But,
my opinion matters the most. Fuck you.
I never got to say why I started my YouTube channel. But whatever.
Sorry.
You're good. Go ahead. And we got Priest to go too.
I don't even care. I'm just kidding.
Opinions are like onions. You just gotta pull them off.
Nat, did you finish yet?
Yeah. I'm done. Yeah. Done.
My arms are
It's
gone.
been great. I gotta run. We'll see y'all.
Thank you very much.
All right, Strange
Okay,
Games.
Thank you.
Catch you later.
Strange Games.
Thanks very
How
much.
many hours have we been doing this? Tell us on the way out. Is this like 3
It's
hours?
7 o'clock.
Strange
It's
Games?
7 o'clock on the East Coast, homie.
It's been
I've
2
just
hours.
had somebody come up saying AWOL's opinion matters most.
Was that Strange Games right there?
I mean, he served our country.
So
I didn't get to say hello to him.
I've infected your subscribers with my opinion. I like that shit.
As far as being an sorry, I was just gonna say, as far as being an expert goes, I mean, I personally don't think you need to be, but I think having some kind of knowledge or experience helps. I mean, the way that I try to approach my channel is I try to be a bit more info dump, as it were, about stuff, and a bit more critical, because I don't know how. I mean, I know these two guys are aware, but my day job is I'm an environment artist for Ubisoft. So yeah. I'm currently working on Division 2 at the moment, and that's where a lot of my, I've been doing it for 10 years.
Can you
and that's
still
where
do games if you work for gaming companies?
So I'd missed that. Sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
But that gives me a good advantage in terms of like knowledge of how games are made and where they could be made better, textures, things like that. So that's where my knowledge comes from, and I think that helps my channel and my shtick, as it were, which is like info dump. But I don't think you need to be an expert at all to actually be an entertaining channel, because that's probably where I might suffer a bit, is I can be maybe a bit too analytical about things as opposed to entertaining about stuff. So yeah, that's like the
everybody's looking for something else, honestly.
Right.
Some people want just the information. Honestly, they want to just think, what is the info? I don't want to deal with the personality of some people's personality is great on people. They just want the fucking info. So I mean, everybody's got their lane. Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I had to say about that.
No, it's true though. Like it's fun to just give, the info about the game. You don't have to be like an expert on VR. Like, I don't know how this fucking thing works at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna bust it open and see how this thing ticks. I can give a shit. That's all I care. Yeah, all I care is that all I care is that it works when I switch it on. That's it. That's it. That's all I care about. But the games, I think we have to be like, yes, if you're gonna do YouTube and stuff, you gotta be a little more knowledgeable about what's coming out. Stuff like what Paul does. I love what he does. I mean, we all know what's coming out because of the other channels, and we can all anticipate whatever's going to come out. PlayStation Prospect is another good one, who comes out with tons of stuff.
They do. I'll watch them too.
tons of stuff that I don't even know about half the games that he knows like that are coming out. And but yeah, starting a YouTube channel it's not that easy at first, because at first when I started it was just for fun. Like literally, I met where is he? There, that guy right there. I met that guy. I met that guy on Starblood. I met that guy on Starblood Arena. I caught him live streaming, and I said, "Can I? I add him on my friends list or whatever." And that was it. From there, I started live streaming with those guys. But it was just for fun. Like, I think it was because everyone in the party at one point was streaming for no reason. It was just like, yeah, I'm streaming. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hit my broadcast button too. And then people started watching and commenting, and then they asking questions about the game, or should I get a VR? And I was like, yeah, this is fun. I'm gonna keep going with this shit. And then it grew to something much more bigger than I ever thought it was gonna be. But I love it. And it's all mostly inspired from this guy, because watching him the first video I watched Seraphim, any VR, the videos, was Resident Evil when it came out. I was watching Brian Paul with the news and stuff like that, but when Seraphim played the Resident Evil 7, it was ridiculous. I was like, this guy is randomly funny for no reason. And he's just
probably
like
screaming his head off, hilarious.
Yeah, it was something like, I was like, I could do that.
I feel you, Sarah.
Yeah. I was like, I could do that. It's fun. YouTube is fun. It's just a fun. I'm not like here to get paid for this or anything. PSVR is a passion.
I'm trying to catch that, but I got no arms. I'm sorry.
I got a floating 4 though. Is anybody? Is that somebody holding it there? Is that what it is?
I don't know what happened to my hands.
Next question.
We're on to the next question,
guys.
Yeah, please. Next
hold
question.
on. Can I throw one thing out there I've been thinking about for a minute?
Absolutely.
So we've gotten a lot of questions about like our VR channels and like our background on our VR stuff. And if there's any more of those, we should probably kind of just. I think we've talked a lot about that already. So
I agree.
Just game-related stuff, upcoming, stuff. Just throw that out there.
So we want to talk about, I don't know, E3 and upcoming games that we're looking at?
Dreams.
Oh, was that
play
the one,
Dreams.
Was that
Real
the comment?
bad.
Can you read that comment out loud? Because I couldn't understand that fucking comment, the one about E3. I saw that one too.
Yeah, I couldn't really understand it either on my channel. It was something about E3.
So you guys,
with E3.
You guys want to talk E3 and upcoming games?
Yeah, sure.
All right, works for me.
Do
I
know
don't give a
when is
fuck
E3?
about the topic. I buy everything when it hits my console, so you guys can have the floor on this shit.
For me, I'm just hoping that they announce something big again, like something that we can all be really hyped for, even if it's coming out at the end of the year and we just can't wait to sink our teeth into it. That's it. Like if they show us, I don't know, maybe more Seeking Dawn and it's really good. I don't know, something.
You mean like more super massive bullshit that we all buy and hate? Is that what we're looking for?
That's exactly what the fuck I'm waiting for, Sarah.
We want some more VR bullshit hype. That's what we want from E3. Some shit that's.
Oh, I got some for you. No Man's Sky. Next update might have VR.
Yeah,
a lot
that
of
would be
people
exciting.
Rumoring
That would
about
actually
that.
be
I just want a big game.
That's a pretty big game.
I do too. I do too.
That game is technically.
I do too.
goes
I quit. I'm 36 years old, and I quit paying attention to E3 when I was 23.
No, I think last year at
shit, I'm never gonna see it.
Last year at E3, 7 Degrees, Seraphim, a bunch of us actually got into a whole party chat and watched the whole E3 together on Twitch. At the same time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us got reactions at the same time of Skyrim VR being announced. So we all heard all of each other's reactions.
We were so happy.
And we were it was ridiculous. It was one of the best chats I've ever been a part of. It was really fun. But yeah, that's why I hope this year we can do that again. And also they'll announce something big. Who knows?
Well, if Capcom don't come out on stage
games.
and announce Resident Evil 8, I'll be shocked. It's got to be.
No, I knew you were gonna say that.
Well, what about this? What about Elder Scrolls 6? Because there's all these talk about Elder Scrolls 6 now.
No, I'm hearing something different.
That'll come out when the next Game of Thrones book comes out.
There's a game they're working on, a space exploration game, Starbound or something like that, and that's what a lot of people have commented on my channel, saying that this
Starbound?
I don't know. You'd need to check my channel. No, it's literally a star exploration game.
Yeah,
So-
Starbound's already out. It's been out for 10 years.
No, this is.
It's a
I
2D
know, you need to
platformer.
check it. It's called
Starbound.
Star something. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, okay. It might be close to it, similar to it or something.
For me, I'm looking
Star
forward to
Wars
seeing
Games?
if, I'm hoping that we can
Or
get some more
Chucklefish
good
might be doing
gameplay
that,
of
probably.
Firewall 0 Hour. That's what I'm looking for. Actual on-floor gameplay of Firewall 0 Hour.
Oh,
Because I love Rainbow
Right,
Six Siege,
right.
so I just want something like that. That's what I'm looking forward to.
dude, sir. Yeah, that's a great one. I agree.
I just
Dude,
want
I heard
more
that's
fucking
true.
ports of good
They
games,
bring
man.
out Starbound
Someone
in
said
VR.
Star
That'd be
Citizen.
insane.
Star Citizen? Is
Oh,
that it?
holy moly!
Matt, is
yeah,
that it?
that is
Star
awesome.
Citizen?
That'll never come out.
No,
though.
it's not
about-
Star
what-
Citizen. That's
okay,
why I'm just trying to find it now.
And
you
what
carry
about
on chatting.
and what about this
Starfield.
No
Starfield.
Man's
Starfield.
No Man's Sky?
I got people
No Man's Sky
suggesting
next summer, so it's this summer coming. It's called Next, and it possibly has VR compatibility. Apparently, is what people are getting.
Have you
from
seen
it.
the
So,
logo at the bottom of their advert for it?
Polish Paul,
Oh,
why are you
yeah, the
commenting on
light
my stream
screen
instead of
and-
talking?
Where
like
it says
that?
VR, but if you actually look at the way it's
Yes.
actually
VR.
a thing, it's
Yeah,
it sounds
right.
like it's VRE.
It has to be, right? Yeah, exactly.
I think it
it
is.
has to be. It'd be amazing. It'd be alright.
That would
Elite
be
Dangerous
great. I
would be
mean,
good in VR. In PSVR, Elite Dangerous, Star Citizen would be way too good to be true.
Elite
That would have
Dangerous
to be a
developers have
PS5
come out and said
Elite
it's not going to
release.
happen.
No
Yeah,
way.
I heard that. Yeah, but I mean, they also said when I asked them on the live stream, they said that they haven't discussed it yet, which whatever that means. So you're probably right. I don't know.
Well, they just said
Hopefully
if they couldn't get it to work right on the PlayStation VR, they wouldn't bring it. Let's be honest, it's been out long enough. They should have been able to get it working.
Oh,
Right now.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. I reckon. Yeah, because they said something about doing the occult rift overnight, getting it working. But they had to work on it more.
Paul keeps commenting on my fucking stream. Paul, get it? What are you doing? He says, "Do you like VR games?"
Strange Games Studio might be making a cowboy
That's funny,
VR
Paul.
game. Horse riding and stuff like that.
And my
So you love
girlfriend's
VR
like,
After D-Day gets released, I think.
So I guess.
Oh, you missed
Alright,
it,
what's our next-
Seraphim. Wait,
Are we ready
wait.
for the next question?
Seraphim missed it. The developer told us that D-Day is being released July 24th.
24th, yeah. That's what he
Yeah.
said. That's what they're
no
shooting for.
shit. Oh,
N-
man.
shit you not. I shit you not.
That's a little closer than
And
I
he said
thought.
32-person battles, maybe 16 people at least.
Damn, he's amazing, that guy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Is that it for E3? Nobody
Next-
else got
is that
anything
it?
else for E3?
Yeah, no,
No.
let's go to the next one. I think we're ready for the next one. Seems like
Yeah, I think
Alright,
we're trying
so,
to wrap it up. Is what it seems.
Yeah. We can if we need to.
No, I mean
So-
like go through the rest of the questions.
Oh, we got tons of questions, man.
I
We've
know.
been asked.
Oh, we were supposed to pick just a few.
Starfield. The game's called Starfield by
Yeah, I was
Bethesda.
saying somebody commented that
Starfield?
on my stream too.
Yeah.
I got a Star
Starfield.
Citizen
I knew it
on
was
mine.
Star something, so.
Alrighty, well, what do we got?
All right. So how about issues with our devs? And now this isn't just VR. This is flat screen
Paul,
too.
stop
But
fucking trolling.
releasing unfinished games, and I'm talking unfinished games to a point that they're broken.
Oh, this is my topic, baby.
And this is straight from Lewis Knight actually.
This is my topic.
Actually, so to quote him, no, I'm not going to quote him. I'm going to say how I would quote him. Quit giving a shit that make us buy it and feel like a bunch of cocksucking asshole douchebags for buying your
Who
shit.
would buy
So,
anything?
that's a
Who would
direct
buy
quote.
anything?
Who will buy anything?
No,
So,
he's paraphrasing.
go ahead.
He's definitely paraphrasing.
I am. I'm interjecting my own animosity towards this. So, Lewis, you can take it from the top.
No, well,
How
we
do,
got
how do you feel about this?
with Ark. You had Ark Park that wasn't finished.
$50. Yeah.
Bravo team. We already know about that with the article at
God, yeah.
from Eurogamo. Eurogamer.
$40.
$40 game. Now and last year we had Arizona Sunshine, which was
$40.
very incomplete before it was released.
And that was such a hype train too.
And it was a
Everybody
super hype train.
Oh my god.
Oh, thank you, Dave, for chiming in. See, these games need to be like what the like how Eurogamer said. these bosses don't need to like rush these developers or even split the teams to make more than one game at the same fucking time. You guys are funny with this streaming shit.
No, I'm sorry. Somebody named Polish Station VR the Game Cat.
Oh yeah,
Get the fuck out of here. Okay, that's hilarious.
I was like, who? I have so many trolls right now.
That's so funny. No, so yeah, no, that's it. It's the fact that like they need. It's what everybody's saying. The developers need to stop like pushing the teams to rush things out.
Oh, yeah.
and then we as VR consumers, right? We don't have many games. There's not like we're waiting for the next game, big game.
There's a lot of games.
And then,
I mean, the catalog.
There's a lot of games, but obviously compared to like a 2D library, we're still waiting on like
upcoming releases are slow.
Upcoming releases are slow, right? So
I just had a comment on my stream
but
to say
if you
find
look
out that they were ported games. Like, I don't assume he means from PC. Some of those, I don't know.
Right,
that's what he said.
Right. But like, when you look at when PSVR first started, there wasn't that much at all. Obviously, and that goes for every system. When PS4 came out, I had what, The Last of Us? I think that was it.
Yeah.
That was nothing. Okay, so that happens. That does happen, and then games start coming out. But like, when you rush a game, and then with VR, it's such a new thing. We love VR so much. We want to just get in there and see what everything looks like in VR. And then you go into a game you spent $50 on. That's unfinished, flat graphics.
Are we talking Arc Park?
We're talking about we're talking Arc Park. Everything that I've seen in this guy's giant Afro stream of Arc Park, almost 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah,
almost
it was
4
painful.
hours.
It was painful. That
4 hours.
Oh, sorry, my tracking gone now. Yeah, it's been around 4 hours. I think I've been playing it.
Absolutely ridiculous. For 4 hours, I watched almost nothing happen on his stream.
No, I know. Yeah.
No, I know.
Nothing.
But if you watch the trailer, it looks like something you gotta buy.
For $50,
Yeah.
The trailer looks like okay. There's a new game coming out right now called Jurassic World. Has anybody seen Jurassic World yet?
Evolution.
Yeah, Evolution.
I'm sorry, Jurassic Evolution. Okay, that game is what Arc Park should have been. Okay. Yeah. That game is like you build a park, you have all these dinosaurs.
What you need.
You need Jeff Goldblum, exactly. You need Jeff Goldblum, but they built the game around things that fail. So you can have a storm happen, and all of a sudden their fence will come down, and a T-Rex is running loose. That will never fucking happen in Arc Park.
Well,
I don't care how much they update it.
No. I will say, here's this. In Arc Park, at the beginning, they're like, oh, wait, something went wrong with the mind controller. That's why you got to shoot all the guys.
That's it?
So that is essentially what you're talking about, but it's a terrible version of that.
Right, but it's a terrible... Right, I forgot about it. But it is. It's a terrible version of that. It's just, I don't know. And I saw when people watch the dinosaurs coming at you, I just can't. That game, I refuse to buy that game. I don't care how much they update that shit. And if they update that shit and they make it more money, oh my god.
It's a call game.
I'm giving up. Whoever that developer is, I'm giving up on them all together.
So
Forget about.
Here's the deal. Ark Survival Evolved was created by a totally different fucking developer.
Yes.
And they had this idea originally to create a VR version of it, and they typed that up like years ago. And then they just stopped talking about it, and they got Snail Games, who's a Chinese mobile developer, to make Arc Park. And that's why, Paul, you mentioned this, Brian mentioned this, the loop of the gameplay is like a mobile game. Like waiting 4 hours to let a thing hatch, that's like a fucking mobile game. And
I got the same dinosaur twice.
You expect to pay $1 to speed it up, almost.
Because
that's
some Prentice shit right there.
Yeah, who was it that said that Arc Park snail pace? What are they called? Snail people
games.
Snail games.
Yeah. So who said that?
It was made by snail people.
Didn't they buy the
snail people? Made this.
I can't use my hands right now, but didn't they say that they bought some of the company, like some of the shares off of Arc Park, apparently?
No,
because Arc Park was getting.
Yeah, you're right.
Lawsuits from copyrights for some reason, right? So
Really?
they were like, "Oh, we'll help you out. We'll give you some money if we can have some of your shares." And they were like, "Yeah," and that's how they got the Arc Park assets. And they just fucking money cash grab. That's all that is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's a cash grab. It's a huge cash grab. But that makes us look bad. But that makes PSVR look bad.
But we're gonna get that monkey one soon that you like. The monkey one, remember?
Yeah, the Planet of the Apes.
That's on Tuesday.
You know,
it's a
oh,
day away.
yeah, I got feeling that's what
Everybody's
I'm
saying
make
they're
us
not
look
excited
good,
and it's
'cause
going
that's
to be
free,
terrible.
right?
No, it's not free. It costs money, right?
Oh no, I don't. I thought it
The
was.
trophy
cheap
list
or
made it
something.
seem like there was actual gameplay. I swear to God.
In
Can you
what?
guys
In
look at the
Planet of the
trophy
Apes?
list?
In
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes. Yes, it
Yeah,
looks
it
good.
looks like there's actual
It's fair
gameplay.
to-
I'm excited for it.
I'm
like
excited for it too. I pre-ordered that shit.
I
Yeah,
only
the thing
saw
is,
like
is,
few bits in trailer.
You
We've
pre-ordered
been
it?
excited
You
for
got to give the
impatient.
developers actually
It's a
a bit of
$10
credit
pre-order.
because-
It's gonna go out to $15 after the pre-order. I bet you anything.
It's
Yeah,
only
but at least
$10
they've
to
come
pre-order.
out front and said this is
Yeah.
going to be about a 2-hour
Do that
game.
shit, Lewis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People know what they're getting. It's like it's 2-hour games. You've got these little mechanics in it. They've actually been up front and said it. Whether it sucks or not, they've given us as much information as they possibly can without releasing a demo. And obviously, we've heard from the dev that actually it does seem like demos are hard to do on Sony. Sony aren't making it
Right.
easy.
Right.
So, maybe pressure needs to be put on Sony of if a developer wants to put out a
Damn
demo,
right.
please don't charge them. Make it free or make it a doddle for them to do. Because how many of us have went out and brought Moss or the Persistence or Star Child because of the demo that was put on that disc?
Yep,
I was only going to buy the Moss.
Persistence was great.
Persistence is
Like
the
that
greatest
demo.
demo. Yeah,
Moss
great
was
demo.
the only
Play
game
that
that
shit
out of
for
those
hours.
three that before I played them
Resident
on the demo, I
Evil
was gonna
Midnight
do.
Hour. The Resident Evil Midnight Hour demo is probably one of the best VR demos. Again, like I said before, I did say this earlier.
Opening hour. Right?
Well, that's one of the best.
No, Midnight Hour is the last one.
VR games that we have, man. Like I would have bought Resident Evil 7 without playing the damn demo.
Oh, true that. True that.
It's like-
But
But it was cool that they gave it. It's cool that they gave that to us, though. Like, you know.
No, that demo was
I think what we're
great.
trying to say
Took
though
a
is
lot of
that
time in that demo.
I think what we're trying to say though is
sorry.
go on. Sorry.
Oh, that's crazy.
No, wait. Nat, were you done? Sarah?
No,
Are they
well,
moving?
I mean, it's a bit of a
Preacher, can
you see me
frustration
waving?
because I know like Lewis likes Sprint
I can't
Vector,
see.
but what kind of annoyed me with Sprint Vector isn't the price. It's $13.99. It's like, oh well, the game doesn't suit me. Where I'm kind of annoyed with Sprint Vector and Servios is on PC they gave a beta out about 2 weeks prior for the game launching.
Yes.
We didn't get that on PlayStation VR. Now, I got to admit, I kind of got caught up in the hype. I watched Davestation and Brian's stream of it.
Yeah, all the early access
and
shit.
they loved it, and that's
loved
great.
it,
And it's like, I mean, you've always got to be a little thing until you actually get hands on. You personally don't know. Like I've said about games I love, and then people have got hold of them and said, no, it's a shit game. It's like, well, I don't know what it is, but everything was like, I think I'm gonna like it, but then I played it, and it's like I knew within 10 minutes some of the things.
Smack him. Shut him up.
But yeah, as I say, it's just frustrating that betas and demos are not made available for PlayStation VR, which can inform our purchases. Can you get a demo that plays well and then the game is pile of shit? Yeah, it's possible. But at least if you,
I think a Sprint Vector demo. Sorry to cut in. It would be really hard because the game requires you to even play it at all to go through 3 tutorials.
yeah, but it was a
And,
beta.
like, oh, the
Well, the
beta
demo
they
is a
should have
beta.
given us. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Because I knew after about
yeah.
10 minutes, I don't want to put. Like I said, and I've said this about the game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just a game that's not for me because I don't have. Once I've finished
Hi,
work,
Mr. Boring.
the
How
last
you
thing I
doing,
want to do
buddy?
is come home and then literally just work my ass off to play a game. It's just like no, I'm not
in
into
the same
that.
boat, Nat. I bought that game for full price. I can see why it's a good game, but it's not for me either. And I tried to explain that in my videos I did on it. I know that Lewis loves it, and I would like to love it, but I'm just too fucking tired when I get home to play it. That's it. At the end of the day, it's a great game. It's beautiful. It works great, but it's not for me.
It is, but I think it's too much constant movement. I'd rather play Knockout League than Sprint Vector.
Oh, me too. That's why I've got so far in Knockout League. I've got nowhere in Sprint Vector.
Yeah, but like at least in Knockout League you get those like couple of seconds where you take a break before a next punch comes or something. But in Sprint Vector it's just fucking nonstop.
Non-stop. Yeah. Yep.
But I love Sprint Vector. It's still a very lovable game. It's very tiring. I feel you.
That game is one of the best VR games probably ever created right now, and I have no problem admitting that. I personally don't like it though, and I would have not bought it had I known that.
But going back,
right.
going back to the original topic though, if you go back to the original topic, which was about busted ass games and that, Sprint Vector's not busted. It does work.
No,
and it was priced appropriately as well.
Exactly, and
That's
it was.
true. No, that's absolutely
See you
true.
later, pal. Good night.
Right on track. Paul, what are you talking about? What'd you say?
I'm just talking to somebody been leaving stream.
Oh, okay.
I said good
Oh,
night.
wait. Are you not commenting on my stream? You're talking now?
Oh no, I stopped commenting now.
For fuck's sake.
Welcome back, Paul.
Yeah,
I like having you in the flesh.
I think as long as games
I
are
told you
priced
to hide all
appropriately.
these
Yeah, I
things.
think we might have gotten a little sidetracked. What was so? Did we all hit that question, or do you guys want to hop to the next one? Or
Yeah, next.
Broken games,
next-
I think we can agree. We
I
don't want
think
broken games.
Yeah.
But it helps the community as well when the game isn't busted. Like, I mean, look at Wipeout. It had every option. It worked perfectly. It was lagless online.
Yeah, it's not a great job.
And it just makes it so good for the whole community, and everybody jumps on board. You know, whereas if you do it the other way around and you have a shit game, then it just fucking screws everyone over, and makes PSVR look bad. Which is
do you
we don't
guys
want.
feel like? Sorry, I know I said we should get back to the questions, but anybody else feel like they're getting a sixth sense at this point for like which games are actually just going to be?
Oh,
terrible?
Yes.
dude,
Yes.
I do it. Yeah, I try not to, but like you almost know.
Yeah. All right, that's just a quick one. All right, so what do we got up here?
That is almost like
You can use 6-axis in VR cards.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks for that.
Are you trying to sell
Appreciate
somebody
it.
on VR carts?
No, you saw my review of it.
Yeah, that's one I've never played.
I'll be the Joker.
Shit.
Seraphim, you still have no hands.
Yeah, I might come back. Is that alright, Lewis, if you re-invite me, if I duck back out and jump back in? So I can get my hands back, so I can get handy.
My tracking is proper gone to shit now. Everything wobbles.
I thought we already had our technical issues.
what we
Done
do.
with all that.
You guys made like the biggest mess around here, man. Like we don't have the budget to clean this room up now. Like you guys totally.
I'll do it. I'll take care of it. You guys are cool. I'll just clean up when you guys leave.
What's the next one here, Will?
Okay, so this comes from the cast out of the Glue Bagger.
Great
What
name.
is a AAA studio's tipping point for creating PSVR games? And what's the biggest obstacle for VR development? We kind of had Strange Games address the fact that it's not that big of an issue.
Frame rate by the sound.
And I think the other side of it is just the fact that our install-based market saturation is not causing them to make them for us. That's my answer.
Well, EA
There's not
turned
enough money
around.
in it.
EA said there's no money.
in it.
The EA wants somebody else to do a big game that sells well before they'll actually do it themselves. They don't want to be the trendsetter.
Yeah,
they want to be the trend follower.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
you'll be
I mean,
they've
they've got their investors to fucking satisfy and shit. You know, they're
Yeah.
not like in.
Well, the
You know,
Star
you can't
Wars
trust them.
thing on Battlefront was paid for by Sony.
It was bloody brilliant.
Right.
That's why.
I love
Yeah,
it.
That's
yeah,
why the
yeah.
PC units didn't get it.
Yeah.
Sony paid for the Rogue One mission. So
I wish it paid for a full game.
yeah, would have been nice, wouldn't it?
I'd have loved
That's why we didn't get anything for Battlefront 2 because Sony didn't put any money in.
that. Damn shame.
Yeah, it is. The problem that you got with both Activision and Sony, sorry, not Sony, EA and companies like that, is they don't look at the big picture. They just look at, we want as much money as we possibly can, which is why EA introduced loot boxes for Battlefront 2. They didn't care about the consumer, it wasn't about that, it was about making as much money as they possibly could for the game. Now, admittedly, you say you work for Ubisoft. Ubisoft also want to make money, but they're actually one of the big AAA studios, along with Bethesda, that do look at the big picture. They know that, yeah, VR isn't going to be a multi-million seller. They can still make profit. Like, there's no way they didn't make money on Star Trek Bridge Crew. No way they made money on that game. I mean, Jesus, look at the size of the file. Yeah, it's a great game, and it's good for Star Trek people. But they're also looking at, okay, we can get the developers in now that will understand VR, understand the space of VR, that when it does start to take off and a much bigger scale, to be honest, Ubisoft have got a heads up on it. They've got Bethesda have got a heads up. EA and Activision are going to be playing catch up. The problem you've got with EA and catch up is they've got the IPs.
Ubisoft releasing new game for PC called Space Junkies, and they're not gonna bring it to PSVR because there's no foam sticks or move controllers. But the game looks good. Yeah.
But I've
No
got to be honest,
thumbsticks.
I give them respect for that. At least they've come out and said, look, we'd love to bring the game to PlayStation VR. Can't do it, there's no thumbsticks on the thing. It sucks, but at least if they're honest, you can turn around and say, okay, that sucks, it blows, but thank you for being honest, and then you look at their next game. Because when they market that to you, they should have, hopefully you'd like to think they'd be honest with that one as well. So I'll give kudos to Ubisoft. But yeah,
the
they're
game
not
looks
bringing
good.
Space
The game
Junkies.
looks good.
Yeah, it does look good, but if you can't physically
Yeah, they
bring it
said
to
they-
PlayStation VR, don't bring
Yeah.
it. Don't try and
Here's-
shoehorn mechanics.
This is a prime example. Is Raw Data was an award-winning game on PC, but
I
when
didn't
you
get the hype
take
when
out
it
the
dropped on
nav
PSVR.
controls,
Yeah.
when you put it on PSVR without nav support, it's not that. I didn't get off with the controls. I beat that game 3 times and still feel when I play that game like I have no idea what I'm doing. Like control-wise, I feel clunky and stupid. And so yeah, I do respect a developer that goes, you know what? You don't have nav controls. Fuck your platform because our game's gonna suck over there. And I'd rather have them say that than charge me $50 for a shit port. I could respect that.
Thing is, I really enjoyed Raw Data.
I never played
It's
it.
a good game.
Raw Data was fantastic. Yeah, Raw Data was
It was
fantastic.
hard to
actually.
play,
I
though.
really
It was
enjoyed it.
hard to play.
And after I got it on the Pro, it was even better.
Raw Data's a great game, but the controls suck.
It's hard to
No,
play.
they don't. Not anymore.
Yes, they do. Even they did whatever. Go play it on a Vive or something, dude. It's way better.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Like with the thumbsticks, yes. But I had no
That's
problem
what I'm
playing
saying.
it with Skyrim.
No.
I had no problem playing with Skyrim controls.
No, what I'm saying,
geez.
what Nat was saying about a company saying we're not going to bring a game over there because it's going to be subpar on your system. That's exactly what he was just saying. They're like,
It's one
it's not
of
going to be as
my most
good.
popular videos, bruh. Chill out. No, I was kidding.
No, but instead of having shit controls with X goes left or up or down or O
Yeah.
goes wherever, because we don't have consistent controls for the moves, and you go in there and you go, I can't control properly. This other company
No,
goes,
here's
PSVR's not getting our game because you don't have nav controls.
Here-
and
well,
that's
here's
what
that,
we're going
right.
to look at in the future.
Right. But
That's
here's
what
where
we're
that
gonna look
kicks
at.
in too, because like in Skyrim, right, on the DualShock 4.
Yeah,
On the
that's great.
DualShock 4, you can dual cast. You could dual cast your magic with both hands and walk backwards. You can shoot a bow and arrow and walk backwards. But when you're with the move controller, since there's no analog sticks, you can't move backwards while doing magic nor shooting a bow and arrow.
Right.
That's why I don't play Skyrim with move controllers. I play Skyrim with the dual.
I still love it though.
That's
still
how
love
I
it.
feel about. That's how I feel about Doom too. Like people complained a lot about Doom, and I'm like, just play with the fucking DualShock. It's great.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah,
DualShock
that's
is
how I
great
play it.
with-
That's
Doom
how
is
I
great
play
with
it.
the DualShock. Yes,
That's how
I played it
I
with
play it
Amy.
the same way.
I do. I still love Skyrim with the move controls, but Doom is best played with the DS4.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
And
know
honestly,
what they did
for
with moves, though.
menus. So the thing about Skyrim, menus and the move controller do not get along at all. Menus are fucking nightmare in the
Right, yeah.
Skyrim.
Any
Oh, yeah.
for any
Oh, yeah.
menu though, using the menu for the PlayStation with the move controller is a pain in the dick.
Yeah, so there's so
Yeah.
many menus in Skyrim. That's why I have to play DualShock, just because it's like it takes me out of it if I'm sitting there fucking swinging my arms.
Well,
around
that's why I
trying to
put
get to
like
where I
everything.
want and,
Yeah,
like,
I put everything in my favorites. Yeah, I know. That's
The
ridiculous.
thing is, though, if you look at any of the PC VR stuff, I mean, one of the things that they always do with when they're innovating with new games is they have like a belt system for the majority of their stuff. So you're always picking up guns, you're taking stuff off. So we should have more interactive things like that rather than menus. Menus is like really old school. We should be looking to sort of like take like a sword off your
Yeah,
back
it's-
or a gun off your
that's
belt.
when you're porting an existing experience to VR when some of the mechanics just don't make sense in VR anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
You preach it, buddy. Preach it to us more.
that's my.
I've got
That's my
JD
job.
telling me Skyrim
Hey,
is one of the
Seraphim,
best
you got
things on
hands
earth.
again. Seraphim, where'd you get hands
I
from?
got hands again. I went
Where'd you
back
get
and I
hands
came
from?
back.
Where'd you get hands
I
from?
went out
you
and
little-
came.
Okay.
No, God.
It's an operation.
Seraphin's back to tear up the room.
No, this is
Finding
great
it.
though. This is good. This is good for people with ADD. All these toys to play with. I got it's great.
I mean, if
Looks
we're gonna
like
be here
Dungeons
for
and
4
Dragons,
hours,
man.
if we're gonna
Right,
be here
right.
Later,
Yeah,
Mr. Boring.
Have we got next one?
What's Mr. Boring doing?
That's fucking wild, man.
Next question.
Next one?
You know what? You know what's funny is though, like how some of us are like we're so. For instance, you guys remember Skippy PSVR?
Yes, sir.
He was one of the first guys I ever gamed with, and Arizona
His
Sunshine, and its shit show of an actual release, you know, where the aim controller didn't work. I used a DualShock because it worked, and he used the stupid Move controllers, which work just as good as they did day one as they do now. They still work just as good. And I learned from him where some people on PSVR, some people want to stand, some people want to sit. And Skippy's going, I want to pick things up. I want to physically be able to grab something physically.
Yeah. Job simulator
So,
shit.
Right, and I think I was looking at it at that point even going, dude, this thing makes regular games so much better. Like, what do you want to do something that we can't do yet? Because when VR came out, after I spent the $500 and didn't even think it was going to work. So the fact that I got it home and put it on and went, holy shit, it works, was cool. So how do devs going on in the future give us all a way to play? And we saw that in a game like Arizona. Let's use the aim, the moves, or the DualShock, and also take comfort settings into question. Like, how do you appease?
God, comfort settings.
How do you appease? I know I hate them. I want to shut them off. I wish they didn't exist. And there are games that force us to use them. But I mean, around the whole encompassing thing, would you release a game to have every single person at this round table go, this is a good game? What they need to do is let us play it the way we want to play it, for everybody's style, and use the comfort settings that we need, because I know Nat, for instance, he uses comfort settings,
yes.
whereas I don't. So if you want to appease all 7 people in this room to put out a video about your game, I better be able to sit and play. You better be able to stand and play. You need a DualShock. You need an aim. You need aim controller.
Well, but hold on, AWOL.
Give us fucking options.
Counterpoint. Like,
There he is.
if you got a game like Sprint Vector, how do you DualShock that shit? I mean,
You don't
could.
DualShock it.
You could.
No,
but
no,
it's
you
not
totally
the same
could.
game. But it's not. It doesn't feel like the same experience at all.
No.
It wouldn't feel the same.
Well, how about
So,
this then? How about
There's
this
sometimes
though?
where the controls are
there's-
baked into the game at
Super
a level
hot.
where, like, you gotta play it super hot. Exactly. You can't play that with DualShock. There's no way you can fucking play super hot with the DualShock. So some games you gotta just stick to one motion control system or one DualShock thing, and it won't work otherwise. Like Moss wouldn't work with moves. You can't play with the aim controller. Like,
What about how about this though? And this is another thing when it comes into baked-in controls, specifically these high octane ones. What about handicapped people that can't do what I can do because I'm a fully functional human being? Like they, and even in the VR world, they're not as good enough. Just like in the real world, and that pisses me off about games like Sprint Vector.
You guys know about the handy-capable gamer? You guys
where did he go? Where did he go?
Is he still doing shit? Because if he
No,
is,
he hasn't done a video in a long time.
It'd be good to have him as part of the roundtable. To have.
No, I used to love his
Seraphim,
reviews from his
wait.
perspective.
Are you fucking with me, Seraphim?
Yeah.
He's not dead. Okay, he's not dead. Okay.
No,
He
no,
might
no,
be,
no, no,
actually.
he's not.
Nobody knows if he's dead.
Nobody knows. No, but even still, no.
Someone
I
go
used to
check on him.
watch. I used to like watching his reviews too, from like to see what his views were
For
from
that
his
perspective,
perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be good to have him around. Yeah.
I actually did have that question on my channel when I was doing Sprint Vector, and I did a video specifically
Yes.
for the guy about can you play this game seated because he was in a wheelchair. And when I did my original review, it never occurred to me to even test that. And then as soon as he asked, it was like,
yeah.
I've got to give this a try. So I tried to play the game seated, and it was bloody difficult.
How did that go?
But
yeah, it probably
was
didn't work
hard.
too well, yeah.
It was possible, but I don't know how competitive you would be against other people that were standing.
Here's one thing I will say though. Here's the one thing I will say. Just in that particular scenario, if you are a wheelchair-bound person, you are kind of used to using your arms to get around, so it might not be so bad. Like
no, you can't get around. You can't get around your arms. The actual armrest on that chair that you're sitting in right now.
Yeah, but you can put armrests down and stuff. But I've seen people like on YouTube, the people that like do most of their OBS streams and stuff like that with their the picture-in-picture, and they're sitting in their gaming chairs playing fucking Sprint Vector. I'm like, what are you doing? Stand up. Come on, like, come on. If you can stand, there's no reason you should be sitting playing this game at all. And I could see them struggling, like, not even going fast. And they're like, come on, it's ridiculous.
I don't know, man. I think that VR should be a place where you come into a world where your physical limitations shouldn't be limited in the VR world, and that's why I personally don't like physical games, just because I'm too damn lazy to play them personally, and also
I
because
sometimes tired after work to play.
well,
Yeah, you don't always want to do it. Like, I can't
and
put the time
also
into
because
Spectre.
because I don't want people that in the real world I don't know if any of you right now are sitting in a wheelchair, but they can come into this world and kick my ass at far point PvP because they can lean back and fuck my ass up. And I think that's with the medical aspect, with everything else they're doing psychologically with VR, I think it's something very important that we don't ostracize or kick out the people with physical limitations in VR.
Well, that's where Wipeout comes in.
Oh yes, it does. Absolutely.
That's where Wipeout comes. Wipeout is sprint vector with DualShock.
At the same time, should we limit?
No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't.
No, but there are games where the concept just top to bottom involves being in a virtual reality space that is movement oriented, that is a certain way, because that is one of the potential avenues of virtual reality. You know, like to use your body in a physical space.
Right.
And still be in the game. And still be in the game. And so, like,
Scared the crap out of me.
obviously, you want to, as much as possible, like allow anybody to play, but there are still going to be some experiences that are just like.
Rum and Coke, Seraphim.
Of course.
Yeah, like.
No, I mean, I'm not saying like
And
I
I think
said.
we shouldn't cut those off and say that's not worth having on the the system.
No,
or
dude,
anything.
those are great having. I just I just hate having
But I
people be
agree
a
with
part
you
of the
too,
community. Where in the real world, people look at them funny. They look at them like they're not good enough, and then they come in here, and we come out with a game that's physical, and the actual game says, "Yeah, dude, you're still not good enough even in here." And that I
understand that. That's
that's what bugs me. That's what bugs me. So I choose not to play them myself, but whatever.
Absolutely.
That's a fair point. It is a fair point.
It
No,
is
I
what
agree
it
with
is.
you on
Yeah, man.
Next.
Any more questions? It's over 2 hours
that.
now.
Oh, we have 8 more
now.
questions.
Yeah,
Just
because
for you.
we're going
I'm
on.
working.
We're going
it's
on
like
almost
1
3
a.m.
hours,
I'm
and
working in the morning.
Yeah,
I told you guys this was going to be a 4-hour stream.
I knew it. I know. No, yeah, it's going on almost 3 hours. I do have to almost wrap it up, but I don't want to like leave until everything's done.
Talk
8
about
more
dreams
questions
yet?
then. Oh no.
Is that still coming?
Just 8 more questions.
So we all agree that Wipeout is like the greatest game that come out this year so far.
Oh, yeah.
it's awesome.
It
Obviously.
saved March.
Great.
It saved March.
It saved March. So then.
Yeah, definitely. Especially after
So then I'll ask, since we're gonna move on to the future PSVR just a smidge, what's your most anticipated VR game for that we know about that's coming out this year? That's it. Just one fucking game. That's it.
Mine's the Persistence. Period. They had a demo. It's great. Yep.
Persistence is mine as well.
Fuck.
Firewall Zero.
Oh man, but maybe Blood and Truth. Oh fuck me, I said 2 games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Operation Warcade, and that's coming out really soon. I've been buzzing about this game for ages. Yeah.
What did you say?
Seraphim, what about you?
Operation Warcade.
Dreams.
Warcade.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I hope it's still fully functional in VR.
I got one that's
Seeking
coming
Dawn's a
pretty
good
soon.
one. Seeking Dawn. Yes.
What's that?
Pixel Ripped.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
God, that game looks
really
That
cool.
game looks fantastic.
Yeah, it reminds me.
It does,
There's this
it does,
thing
it does.
on Google Daydream called virtual reality. If any
Oh,
of
so
you guys
great.
have Google
Yeah.
Daydream,
Sounds
it's
cool.
fucking awesome. I wish they would port that. But that reminded me of that because you're just going through different scenarios, and it's like it's in on the fact that it's a virtual reality game. It's like breaking the fourth wall the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
pretty good.
it's awesome. I
Yeah,
messaged
that-
developers of Dreams and asked them like more questions about the game, and they said, "Oh, just post us link to your channel first." Posted them a link, and they never messaged me back.
They should have realized you're the freshest in the build.
Well, I'm going to choose a game a bit like
They told me they were
Davestation
busy.
here. I'm going to say the next game I'm looking forward to rather than a game. So the next game I'm really looking forward to is Rick and Morty Virtual Reality.
Oh yeah.
Because that's how
that'd be fun to play
in
with.
10 days, and it's
Yeah.
got highly rated on Vive and Oculus, and it seems like the Move controllers work well with that.
To be fair,
it doesn't look like
you have to
analog
have
sticks, so
You have to have a very
That'd
high
be cool.
IQ to
Yeah, pixel
appreciate that
It's Rick and Morty, man. I'm sure I appreciate
it was
it.
No, sorry, I'm referencing a meme. That's a meme. There's like this copy pasta that's just like this really long thing about somebody.
So the end of
yeah,
quarter one.
that's the next game that I'm looking forward to. I'm expecting good things from
right,
that
so-
because I'm expecting to have fun.
That is 2018, the end of quarter one. Well, mediator man.
Lewis, are you yawning?
I did, Leon.
Okay.
Seraphim, what are you looking forward to, brother?
I'm looking forward to making my own games and dreams. I think that'll be sweet because I want to make a tennis game, a ninja game, an exploration game.
Seraphim's
and
good
that's
at
the type
making
of
games, guys.
Don't you make Little
That's
Big
what I'm-
Planet games?
Oh, I used to, yeah, definitely.
I
muck
thought I
around
saw
with
on your
that a
channel
little bit.
somewhere.
Yeah, I
Seraphim
thought
Sky.
that,
Seraphim Sky.
Yeah, I want to remake that in dreams,
Seraphim,
like hardcore.
didn't you make one of the most downloaded Minecraft games of all time, which isn't my thing? I think it's stupid
Oh,
game,
yeah,
but you
map.
know, didn't you like do something
Can we
really
give him
cool
some
in
high
Minecraft?
fives? Can we all give him high fives?
Yeah, one of the. It's a pretty big Minecraft map. I spent like
Shambhala?
He's
a year and a half on every day building it, and it had
What's
like
it called?
Shambhala,
Shambhala, yeah,
SHAMBALA.
Oh man, I have to check that out. Man,
Yeah.
I was reading your description, and you're like, I made one of the most popular Minecraft freaking. I'm like, what? Really? That surprised me, actually.
Well, Seraphim's been a
Yeah, I got
YouTuber.
years.
Seraphim's been a YouTuber. Seraphim's been a YouTuber for over 5 years. I think he's got a.
I was a Minecrafter when I first started.
Yeah, he's a Minecrafter. So.
And then I grew up and started playing big boy games. And like, you know, adult games, all types of games, VR games, and yeah, so that's what I do. But yeah, Minecraft was great for me because I could like build massive maps, and I'd come back weeks later and I'd still be there, and I was surprised by that, and I was like, shit. That
Did you
block's
like
still there.
Discovery?
Yeah, I did. I liked it a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I used that. Yeah, I did. I built Shambhala again in that map, but a smaller version of it.
Yeah.
and
They meant
I
to
did a
bring
video
patch,
on
they
that.
never did, didn't they?
Not yet. Yeah, I was waiting to see what was going to happen this year. I think the dev wanted to make a shooting game with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
cool.
a shooting game to go with it. So you make maps in that game, and then you bring the maps over to the shooting game.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
That was what
that
he
could
was
be fun.
discussing
Yeah,
at
that
the
could be
time.
pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to that, but I haven't heard. They're still working on it though. I think, from what and they haven't forgotten about me or anything. So I'm still looking forward to it.
What percentage trust do you guys have when a developer, after a game comes out, says, "Oh, we're going to patch that, or we're going to add something"?
No, yeah.
Like 0?
Because I feel like
Depends.
there's been so many times
I'll
where
give them the benefit
developers,
of the doubt.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like most devs I've talked to have kept their word and patched things pretty much straight away, and have
Some
tried
devs are
really, hard
really
or worked
good
on
about it.
Yeah.
Some
Really
devs
good
Yeah,
are
well, I
about it,
remember the
and some
first
don't
time.
do
I
anything.
streamed a game where a developer had joined because I found a bug. I think it was Moonshot Galaxy, and the ball wouldn't launch to go into the hole or whatever the fuck. And they were like, "Oh, the devs are here. It looks like you found a bug and this and this." And it was weird to say the least to have a dev in there for the first time. on
Yeah,
one
I
of the
think
live
they're
streams,
always
but-
watching, like, I think they're always watching
Yeah.
streams and what we're doing, they just
Yeah.
don't know about it.
Because I keep forgetting that. What I would forget about is like VR is new, like kind of thing. This whole thing is new, and they're like testing out their games as much as we're testing out their games when we play it and buy it. And they want to
Did
see
any
us
of you
play, and
guys-
it was fun.
Did any of you guys have somebody drop in while you were doing Invisible Hours? Like the writer of the game or one of the voice
No, I didn't play that game.
I haven't played that
Did you guys
game
do
yet.
Invisible Hours? Nobody else played
I
Invisible Hours?
played
I
it,
just
but I
did
didn't
review, I
live
didn't
stream
stream
it
it.
because
No, I
it
didn't.
didn't feel like a game I wanted to live stream. But that was.
When
No, they do
when I
lurk
did it-
around though. Sometimes they
I
do
love
lurk.
that game.
I had the
I've only
guy
just
who
brought
wrote
it,
the
so-
story. The guy who wrote Farpoint wrote that as well, and then he like got some of the voice actors to come watch it, and he all kinds of shit. It was crazy. I was like,
Wow.
I cannot believe this is happening right now.
Yeah, I love Farpoint.
I wasn't
and
going
those
anywhere.
I
guys.
actually like the
They're
story in
amazing.
Farpoint. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, me too. I love Farpoint. I thought the
I
whole
wonder
thing.
if Arc Park devs was watching our streams.
Oh, they had to have. Because they think, oh, they're taking all your feedback and whatever. You know what? The feedback they need to listen to.
Watch anything.
I
had
said
to.
to him, "Can I help make trees?" And he goes, "I make the trees, Seraphim." And I'm like, oh, "Okay." Do you remember that?
Yeah,
What's his name?
yeah.
Randy or something.
Oh,
I was
Randy
like, "Can I
Nell
help
from
make trees?"
Farpoint.
or somebody. And he's like, "No, I make the trees." And we
Randy,
never saw
no,
trees in the
Randy,
game.
Yeah, Randy
like,
Noltan.
"Randy's trash."
They added us to their friends list. The developers of Farpoint, they added us. There was two of them, Randy and another one. I can't remember his name, JF Mail or something like that. And they played Starblood Arena with us a lot. And we asked them so many fucking questions. Oh my god! But they weren't sharing their voice, of course, because they didn't want anyone to really know. They had no problem telling us, but they didn't want the rest of the world to know what they were talking. It was hilarious.
Yeah, they're like, sorry, Seraphim, we don't want anyone to know. And I'm like, I'm not anyone. And he's like, all right. No, I'm kidding. That didn't happen. But yeah, we can chat with him for a bit. Oh, cool. Nice.
Alrighty.
AWOL.
All right, guys.
So,
So
we got left?
AWOL.
we're gonna do one more question, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, guys.
Cool.
So when it comes to hype, if a game doesn't have hype, or we hear about, I guess we'll say impatient versus something like that we didn't even know was coming out, like it just pops up in the store. When we go to review it or go over the game, how does that affect you as a YouTuber that tries to cover this content for their audience? And how does it affect you?
Like if
I
a
guess,
game just
yeah.
pops up out of nowhere and I gotta.
No,
like,
yeah. Well, what I'm saying, both ways. So, like, just say that it's something that you didn't hear shit about, versus like a game for like $10, versus a game like, I don't know, Arc Park that we've heard about for months.
Well, here's
and
one.
then
Here's
that's
well, here's
supposed
one.
to be great. And it's like, how does the
Archangel.
hype-
Find me.
Archangel
How does
was
the
one
hype-
of those. Archangel was one of those games that had no hype on it, and
exactly, man.
It had no
Yes,
hype on
yes,
it. And
yep.
Here's what they gave us for Archangel, a screenshot. That's what they gave us.
Yeah.
They gave us a fucking screenshot,
Yeah.
and you know what it was? It ended up being one of the best games I ever played on PSVR.
Oh, dude, I agree.
It's a total mixed bag. You can like have awesome trailers in a shitty game, or a screenshot and a really good game, but you never know what PSVR. I think right now is what
I
we're
think a
going to
lot
get.
of games that coming out, we hyping up as well. We don't have hype, all of us talking about, them games, and we hyping them up. And if you go to Reddit and that, people getting excited about the games nobody really knows much about. And then when they come out and, are shit, and people saying all that hype, but it's us who hype them up.
Yeah. Yes. We hype them up sometimes.
In some cases, I think some of our channels do some like some of us don't do news. Like I don't really do news that much.
I don't do
that much.
Right, like I don't do news.
So-
Brian, Paul does news. Seven.
Yeah, I think you and Brian maybe. Not to like point a finger back at you, but like yeah, no, I mean like if you get hyped about something, people get hyped about it. So that's something you gotta keep in mind. Like you are building the hype yourself.
I mean, for me, when I come to reviewing a game, I try to be completely objective about the whole thing, but the hype obviously plays into it, and I think you do have to say, like, people are going to be expecting something because of the hype and because of the trailers, and you have to tell them whether or not it's delivering on those expectations or not. And if it's not delivering,
launch day.
yeah, on launch
day, exactly.
And if it's not delivering, you have to warn them, because like you keep saying there, well, some kid out there that, $40, $40, that might be all he's got for like a month, So you've got to let them know, and the hype does play into how you review that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it does. Well, that's why first impressions and stuff is fun too, because people go in right away. Like you're doing your first impressions, and it's either is this guy having fun or is he not having fun, and that's it. And you see Paul doing his first impressions of Arc Park for 4 hours. For 4 hours, and it's like, yep, I don't want to buy that game. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. But then I fucking bought it anyways because I was like, I want to tell more people about how terrible.
Yeah, no. I just did a video saying, go watch everyone else I saw that suffered through this. I am not buying this shit.
I did the same thing. I did a video saying "fuck Arc Park." I was like,
and I did it while standing. I did it while standing inside of Robinson the Journey.
Oh, nice.
My greatest fear was that I would buy it and end up liking it a lot, and being like, "Oh, I bought this to shit all over it, just like everybody else to spread the word." But then I realized I love Arc Park. It was like haunting me, and I'm like, "What if that happens when I buy it?" Fuck.
You do realize you just provided a soundbite.
That's not what happened at all.
And Bravo Team too.
He's just provided a soundbite there.
Team unless it's like $10.
That's the same thing with the same thing with Arc Park. Because if Arc Park came out at like a $30 price, I would have bought it, reviewed it, where first impressions, that shit, whatever the fuck.
I would have bought it too. $50 is what fucking cut me from buying it.
Thank you.
I do love dinosaurs, and I don't give
Do
a
you still
shit
play
about,
Ark Park?
like, really... Who, me? No.
Yeah, do you, Seraph? You're still playing it.
I'd never seen anyone play Ark Park, but I was super excited to get it, and I was disappointed.
We should get on the multiplayer.
Yeah, should I see how it looks like?
I tried multiplayer one time. There was nobody there. I couldn't find anybody.
No. We need to do it.
Well, Brian has the game. Well, Brian has the game too, so you should do a live stream with Brian.
You have to buy friends. It's DLC.
You have to buy the Friends DLC. Yeah, that's great.
Obviously, I do with my channel. A lot of it is news. Now I try and be objective, but admittedly, if I see a cool-looking trailer, cool-looking gameplay, I'll say, oh, okay, I'm interested in that. But I have no problem when I'm actually playing the game if the game is awful to actually say. But I also like, occasionally taking a chance on something crazy. So I think you do this as well, Dave. Buy stuff from the Hong Kong store. I'm sure I've seen Hong Kong.
Oh, I love that. I love
before.
that shit. It's so fun.
So, like,
you don't know what you're getting. Ranch Planet was insane. You guys tried Ranch Planet?
I saw you play it. I did see you play it.
I couldn't even figure out how to play it for 8 minutes. Like, my stream is terrible just because I didn't even know it. Yeah, sorry.
But like, I bought a game earlier this week called Dark Legion, which will be coming, obviously, to the rest of the world. And it's actually got really good controls. The gunplay is really good. There's a lot of bugs and annoyances in it, but it costs like 10 quid. And I had some money sitting on the things. Yeah, I thought it was okay. I actually really like the move control on it for smooth movement. I think it works really well.
Yeah, they did something. It was kind of like almost like a budget Farpoint with move controllers is how it felt. And that's a good thing to have. I like that. So
sounds good.
Hopefully they'll patch the thing where I got stuck and I couldn't progress in the stage or whatever.
But then you've got something like I remember buying this ages ago last year, City Avenger on the Hong Kong store, and it's an awful game. But boy, is it so much fun because it's so awful.
Shit. It's so fun.
I was laughing my ass off. I don't think you're meant to laugh. I think they try to make a serious game, but it's just so bad.
They made this guy ragdoll and fly like that when you shoot him?
Literally, the first time he did it, I was like...
No, I think you need to get team.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's got to be a bug. And then literally, it did it every time, and it's just like, oh, this is just so funny. So, yeah, even some pretty mediocre games can actually have a modicum of enjoyment and fun into them.
I had fun playing Bike Rider VR.
Do we've got any questions about back PSVR camera?
Oh my God! Backtracking.
There was one.
Backtracking. I did see that.
There was one. There was one.
Yeah. You mean for like full room scale, almost?
Yeah.
Or at least behind your back scale tracking.
I don't see that.
So like when you turn one at the back. Yeah.
I don't know. That would have to be like a wireless. What is that tapping noise?
That's
Seraphim, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's Seraphim.
That's fine. No.
Looks like he's wanking.
Jesus doesn't think.
So
is that a rumor anybody's actually heard?
No.
About Jesus.
They have put out patents for sensors and things like that. I've done a couple of videos about that.
Yes.
But to be honest, they did a patent for frigging gloves for VR. They ain't going to bring those to VR, at least not this generation. So you just kind of take it with a grain of salt. I think the VR system that we've got is the system that we've got moving in.
And it's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah, it's good for what it is. Can it be improved? Yes, but that's what I'm expecting with PlayStation VR 2.
I think with everything you always want more. Like whatever you've got, you always want more. Always want better version.
All right.
Whose arm is this?
This is Dave's.
Right, should we?
Yeah. So
everything.
You want to wrap it up, Phil?
Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. I mean, we've pretty much covered everything.
Well, I am a proud owner of PSVR and hope to be forever.
Me too, man.
Me too.
Forever.
I love it. I know.
It's better because what's with our channels if they stop making PSVR? What happens to our channels then?
Yeah, that's it. It's over. We're all done. We all gotta check. We all gotta meet up somewhere around the world.
Hey.
Man,
Fuck the channel, man.
Check
It's
it,
all
check.
about it's all
Saving
about having
people
fun.
money.
It's all about the community and saving
Yeah,
people
man, I
money.
know.
Exactly.
You're welcome,
about
God.
Seraphim.
That's what I do
It's
it
all
for.
about
And,
Seraphim, one I know.
Yeah.
And
He's on the microphone.
no, I would just like to say
sure,
to all of you guys that actually showed up
Welcome,
and
welcome.
you replied to my
well,
emails
Yeah,
and
thank,
stuff.
guys.
thank you,
thank
you
you
three guys for
guys.
setting all this up.
Wait,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah.
No,
hold on.
Wait.
I was using the
Preacher?
bathroom. I ran away. I didn't say anything, but I was using the bathroom. What happened? Are we ending the stream?
We're sort of wrapping it up,
You're welcome,
saying
Jay.
how much we love,
Yeah, you know.
saying how much we love PSVR, and that's it.
So what we do is
Oh,
same
it is very
time,
good.
same
Yeah,
time
it's pretty
tomorrow.
good.
Yes, tomorrow again.
This was part one.
No, thank you guys, whoever's watching.
Yeah, I mean, you guys,
Thanks for doing things.
when the community gives us the feedback, man, that's what will dictate where this goes forward. And
Yeah.
thank all you
I'd
guys
love to do
for
this in the
showing up.
second quarter again. In the second quarter, I think we should all
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back.
Hey, you know what? That's E3 time too. That's June.
I was about to
So, yeah.
say, let's just wait until
So
just
end of
before
the end of
E3. Let's do a pre-E3 show.
So we'll meet again
Oh,
end
yeah.
of second quarter. End of second
Absolutely.
quarter.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Dance for me, Steve.
Bring
Dance
bring
for
your
me.
best stand-up
Up at your
jokes
pole.
next time.
Absolutely. Thanks, you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. I hope we covered damn near everything. I think
Yeah, we covered as
I think
much
we
as
had
we
a good
possibly
conversation.
could.
Stripper pole.
Yeah.
I think it went quite well. I think it went pretty well. I'm
All right.
super
yeah,
happy.
Definitely.
Super
Not
happy
bad.
with you guys. Thank you very much, everybody. It was awesome.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
That was
Thanks.
awesome.
Thanks for setting this up.
Thanks, Feature. Yeah, Feature for
and
setting it all
AWOL
up.
and everybody
No
yeah,
problem.
for moderating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was a crazy idea we all came up with and followed through. Preacher, it was awesome.
No problem.
Yeah,
Catch y'all
especially in the time
3
frame,
or
it's
4
remarkable.
months. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe
Don't
next
worry,
time
you
we can do it a
guys-
bit
you guys
better.
So see you later then, yeah?
What's with all the white people in there,
Everybody's going to
right?
be right back to watching us blow a bunch of
Am I
money we
right?
shouldn't blow on doing stupid VR shit here in the next 2 days. So
Awesome.
buying
All right,
shit so they
guys.
don't have to.
And then in the next
thanks,
stream, I will
everybody.
transition to being male because I
Wait,
tend to
wait,
play
wait, wait,
as male.
wait. One more thing.
Oh,
One more thing.
Columbo.
Honest to God, no bullshit. And Nat did a fucking video on this. Is Wipeout VR the killer app? Because actually,
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Is Wipeout the killer?
I'm surprised
Yes.
they didn't make a bundle with it. Like, you know, they should make PS4 bundle.
No, I'm gonna
with
say.
Wipeout.
Well, so
Come
all,
on,
it's
yeah.
an unanimous yes. Unanimous yes.
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 not,
Yeah,
oh,
unanimous
absolutely.
yes.
Somewhat.
Yes.
Okay.
I lost my hands, but I'm saying.
I
gave it a
actually,
10 out of 10.
I actually watched a guy doing a video earlier of that on the PS4 Pro versus PSVR. So it wasn't even like PS4 versus PSVR. It was PS4 Pro, and he broke it down by the frame. And they literally made no compromises, man. Like they nailed it.
Yeah,
Like, it's I think that's what we need going forward. Not in a racing game necessarily or a shooter, but things that the developers take that much time and put that much passion into.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I
think,
think we
man-
could tell from everybody's stream how blown away we were
Oh, Seraphim
from
just
that game,
left.
from
Yeah.
literally from the very first second.
I'm still
yeah.
here.
Everyone literally had the same.
Oh yeah, your body left. Okay, cool.
Reaction.
Seraphim's voice is still here.
It was. If you guys want to check
I'm
the
still
video
with
out,
you,
or
my
everybody in your
children.
stream, if you guys check out Digital Foundry, they don't do VR. They do everything. He does a very good comparison between PS4 Pro and the PSVR side-by-side comparison on it.
Oh
So if
man,
you
I
guys
almost
are-
forgot. That was gonna be one of my topics. Oh, fuck it. Like PSVR original versus
Yeah,
Pro.
don't
Do you
matter
need
now, it's
Pro?
only
Like,
VR
should you get Pro? Like,
No,
what
I'm
it
serious.
is,
I've got
what it
I've
is.
got a
We'll do it on the next one.
GPS4 and
If you're
yeah,
a pro,
it's,
get a pro.
yeah, it's
I think Pro is just like amazing. Sorry, I just
Well,
need to
It's
say
an
it.
original,
Like,
and I'm still doing fine.
I've got
no,
both,
yeah, but when you get the
sometimes.
Pro, Dave, you will see. I want you to play Monster of the Deep, Final Fantasy fishing game on the original.
Oh yeah,
and then
that's
go-
like
when you
that's
when you
okay.
get
That's
a
the only
Pro.
reason I'll go play that game again.
No, and then Dirt Rally, forget about it. Dirt Rally with the new effects, snow,
Dirt
cracked
Rally is
windows,
great. If it's
rain,
raining on your shit.
rain,
yeah,
dude,
no, I
raining
get
and
that.
every. Oh my God, it's amazing, Dave. Got to get a Pro.
Dave, at the end
Right,
of the day,
okay.
VR needs horsepower. VR needs horsepower, and a Pro has more horsepower. So of course,
It is,
if they Pro
One
enhance it,
second. Sorry, guys, not you.
Paul, go ahead. Paul, go ahead.
Oh no, I just been saying bye.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
All right, well,
No, it's
All
alright.
right,
I wait
guys,
for
I'm
you.
gonna drop out too. Have a good night,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah,
This was
take
fun.
care.
Next
Okay.
time to make
Thanks.
this video.
Later, Dave.
Yeah,
Good, man.
Thanks everyone for chatting.
Thanks everybody.
And see you later in
man.
YouTube.
See you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna end my stream now.
I'm gonna
Thanks,
kill my
guys.
stream and I'm gonna hang out here for a minute and talk to you guys
Thanks,
for a minute if
everybody.
you guys want to.
All
See you
right,
later.
I'm gonna have to kill it too. I'm gonna.